Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World with
John.
and
Ben. Hey, Harlan.
and me, Mike D.
Like the dick.
We have two guests today, and you know what? I forgot to mention our EEOC quota for old people is missing today because everybody here is like a ton younger than me.
Yeah.
We have an EEOC quota for millennials. You guys have more than filled that.
We filled. Oh, that's why we were invited down here.
Yeah, the EEOC. Yeah, that's why we had you down. Arlen.
Hey, Harlan.
Hey, Arlen. I actually made we do this a lot. Side note, I made T-shirts that say, "Hey, John." Hey, Mike. So these two young gentlemen were in Saipan with John and I. If nobody has ever heard us mention it, we were in Saipan.
We met in Saipan and just kind of became friends. Then they they were younger. We were gonna have to like drink beer and hang out after we were done work.
What beer? The funny thing was is we met there and we clicked with it. Like I wasn't sure.
We didn't drink beer on the island.
I'm gonna get to the story because we were there a week before you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys came during our second week. So we're talking about mission trips today, and all four of us ended up on a mission trip to Saipan, which is, believe it or not, part of the United States. For all you people who are like, where the fuck is Saipan? Saipan's in the middle of South Pacific. It's a small island, 8 miles by 12 miles long. I fell in love with that island. I was there 2 years prior to being there with you guys. I was there with my wife's uncle, another guy from the area. We all went and we realized how freaking hot it is there.
Yeah, 105 degrees.
Oh, it was
and humid.
It was 95 degrees and 98% humidity. It was the worst working conditions I've ever worked in.
Yeah,
I've never sweat more than my life.
Worst freaking week to do roofing ever.
Yes. Well, see, the first time I was there, I actually didn't do roofing. I did electrical work.
Oh, so you were in the shade all the time.
I was in the shade for the first week, but we were there for 3 weeks the first time. And then the second week, I went to do electric on another house and didn't have a roof on yet. And I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking hot in here. And then I did tile work, which was even worse because you're in a crammed little bathroom. Oh, it was, but every time I've gone, I fell in love with that island. Honestly, I fell in love with that island, and probably for the same reason maybe not for the same reason you guys did, but it's just the people there were so cool.
The Chamorro people.
Yeah.
Well, that and we went for a walk on the beach. Like we're just going down through. We can't even speak the same language as the people up there, and they're having a birthday party. They're like, "Oh, come up."
Yeah.
They're sitting there jibber jabbing around like they invited pretty much anybody who walked up on the beach. Well, it wasn't a walk. We were driving the truck on the beach, and
they said, "What the fuck are these white guys doing?"
Pretty much. And they said that looks dangerous, so why don't you join us for some pork and beans and whatnot?
Look, two young single white guys. Are you married? Are you married?
It was.
You got ring on finger? No.
I'm just gonna leave that thought there.
So, this was not my first mission trip, but it was John's first mission trip.
Very first.
Ben,
second one. Well, I've never. Yeah, the first one was kind of. I was 17, but yeah.
And where'd you go then?
Texas. We were in Galveston, Texas, like a little island, doing drywall. Like I said before, hence why I'm never gonna get a job as a drywaller.
Yeah. Harlan?
That was my fourth mission trip. So.
And where were you before?
I was in Louisiana. I was in California and Mexico.
Mexico.
Yeah, they have good tequila.
El Mexicana. I love mezcal rather than tequila.
Okay.
I like tequila, but I love mezcal.
I don't think I've ever had mezcal.
Mezcal's a little more smoky.
Okay.
Than
more of a bite to it.
It's deceptively strong.
You ever eat the worm out of the tequila?
Yes, I've eaten a scorpion out of a tequila bottle.
Yeah, me too.
There's one with a snake in it. I'd like to do that.
Yeah, I'm terrified of snakes. Someone has them.
It doesn't scare me at all. So we all met there. John and I were there for the first week, and basically we were the kind of outcasts because we're just us. We just like to have fun, and but the first week it was like we were still trying to get used to the heat, and then we found out they said there's 2 Mennonite kids coming, and we're like, oh shit. I got to watch my mouth now. I gotta I'm gonna have to, and then you guys show up.
Wrong.
And 3 minutes into talking to you guys, I'm like, we're gonna have some fucking fun. We are gonna have fun, and we did. We ended up having a great time.
Yeah. At first, me and Mike had a car. For some reason, they let us rent a car.
When I was there the first time, I had a car, so I was a designated driver. So this time, I requested that I get a car again.
So it was cool because I guess. Being that it was a mission trip, it was like a group. There was probably 6 other people in this group.
There's 10 people altogether, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the idea was we were supposed to share the car, but we just kind of
yeah, but we made sure everybody got someplace.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. But, always mornings you'd always ask hey, does anybody need to go anywhere today?
Right.
It kind of worked out at nighttime though because we'd all be in the same vehicle.
Well, we were all fucking tired at night for real.
Yeah.
And we were younger than some of the other people, so. That says something. And then these guys were the young guys, they didn't need to sleep at all, which is cool. But
I remember damn near falling asleep in that fucking restaurant that spun around in circles.
I have photos.
The first time or second time we ate there.
Yeah, it was fun for the first time. It was okay the second time, but the third time I was like, hey, this is getting old. The food wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great.
It wasn't great, no.
But, for the area, everything's so fucking expensive there.
Yeah, true.
Everything's got to be flown in. Nothing is, there. There's not much agriculture. Yeah. There's not much, there are a lot of chickens, a lot of dogs. So if you don't mind eating dog, I'm sure that's cheap.
Yeah, you're not going to have the quality of, cat, but you'll have dog. It'll be fresh, though, so that should be better.
Well, the funny thing is when John and I went out the one night, we went out and ate by ourselves. We went to that Korean barbecue. And it was a place I'd normally never go into. I just looked at it, it looked kind of dirty. And it was double worse because I'm pretty sure the first time I was there, I saw them cooking a dog out in front of the place. Now, they said it was a goat, but I'm not too sure.
It
was just your imagination.
And they had it on some kind of rack, and they were smoking it, and it was upright, and then I'm like, and he said, let's go eat it. Well, his girlfriend at I Love Saipan said, I know good place for you eat.
Yeah, she was shitting on me the whole time.
Oh my God. You got a wife?
You got a Facebook account? You got kids? Where you live in America? I'm like,
you got extra room in house?
Back it up. You're twice my age. I'm not interested.
You were
Thank you very much.
You were interested.
Yeah, you were looking, that's for sure. You at least took one good look.
Well, you gotta. I like that. I like that chick that was at the opposite store. That was, if you pulled out of our hotel and went to the right, that clothing store.
Oh yeah, that one.
Always went in.
Oh, the one who couldn't get the fanny pack around your waist.
On my fat ass. She was laughing at me. She's like, "This is the biggest one we have. You're too big."
So, why don't you talk about Galveston? What'd you do down there?
Mostly drywall, clean up. We were there for 2 weeks.
What's the difference between what you did there and the people and the experience as to Saipan? Besides the fact that me and John weren't there to make it fun.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Galveston, we had a different. It really goes back to what's Don's job title? Don would have been the
project manager or something.
Yeah, something like that. The coordinator we had in Texas, he was great, but he's 9 o'clock, everybody's in bed, lights out. I'm like, all right, we're here to work. Yeah, we're here to work, but we're also here to have fun. Let's go out, play basketball, or hit a bar. But
You
were 17, as you said earlier. Yeah, or go somewhere
or go somewhere.
Other, yeah.
He meant a sandbar.
Yeah. Oh, right on. Yeah.
With a sandbar with a boat. Yeah. I know what you meant.
Big difference. Don, on the other hand, was you wake up in time for work, do your thing. Like he's really lenient with everything. He was a good guy to work with.
Well, I know the rules on a lot of mission trips are like no drinking, no cigars, which really bugged me. But so I didn't bring cigars with me on that one. I think I could have really sat out in the balcony and enjoyed a cigar.
I enjoyed a few cigars. Yeah.
But I've been. My first one was in Galena, Alaska.
Oh wow, what was that like?
Galena was man.
He fought with everybody.
That's not true. I fought with.
He somehow pissed off a pastor.
Hold on, that's not. See, that's someone else's story. That's not the true story.
That's a total true story.
That's T's story. That's not the real story. The real story is, I was at a job site the one time. Now, what we did up there is we built houses from the ground up. They had pylons in the ground to raise the houses off the ground, and we would frame an entire house. We did 4 houses in 6 days.
Oh wow!
We completely framed 4 houses in 6 days. So we busted our butt, but they were truss framed houses. So the whole house was a truss, floor, walls, and ceiling. Okay. And so we had a local guy here who went with us, who was he's a crane operator here. So he taught me how to rig 3 trusses at a time. And we would pick up 3 trusses, and you drop the first one, the other 2 would be higher.
Yeah.
And then they'd space them, nail them in. Then we just drop the second one, space them, nail them in, drop the third one. He'd come back over, and I'd rig them again. So we had a really good system going. They were cold climate homes. And actually the company who manufactured the cold climate homes came and videotaped us. And there's a video on YouTube with us building the house. Because they said, now they didn't have the lift there. They were putting stuff up by hand. So a lot of things were different. It took them 2 weeks to build one house.
Wow.
Where we did 4 houses in 6 days. And we were so far ahead in the project by the time we left that like they didn't know what the next group was going to do, because you get to a certain point, they're going to spray foam them. And the spray foam guy was not scheduled till like, a couple weeks down the road. So we were in the middle of Alaska, and like, it's not postcard Alaska. This is just like barren, nothing. It was, to me, it was beautiful. I loved it. It was cold out, but there was flowers growing. So the one day I'm at a job site, and I just moved a whole bunk of wood to where the guy who was in charge of that project, he said, I need this over here. It's kind of in the way. And this other guy shows up. He goes, no, I need that wood over here. So I was...
Wait, this sounds familiar.
I was aggravated, and I'm like, well, this guy said if it's there, it's going to be in his way. And he's like, I don't care. And I'm like, but he's the one who's working on... I need it moved. Just move it. So I got pissed. So I'm picking up 20-foot 2x6s, and I'm just throwing them. I threw a whole bunch, and like my wife's uncle's like, you want help? I'm like, no, just leave me alone. I'm just trying to expend some energy because that's the only way I'm going to stop being mad. So then the end of the day comes, I'd moved it, and the other guy comes, he goes, why'd you put that there? I'm like, he told me to put it there. I told him you didn't want it there. He goes, but it's in our way. We're going to have to move that tomorrow. I said, you're going to have to move that tomorrow, because I ain't moving that shit again. So there was only it's just like Saipan, there's only so many vehicles. Well, this guy shows up in a vehicle, and he's like, you're not going to fit. I said, well, I'll sit in the fucking back. I don't care.
Wow.
And he's like, no, you just have to wait. All right. Fuck you, go. So now I'm pissed, and it's 2 miles back to camp. So I said, I'm just going to walk. By the time I get back there, I'll be too tired to argue with anybody. So I walked. And it was surreal. Walking along the road, looking at the river, the Yukon River, looking at the flowers, looking at the mountains in the background. It was beautiful. I was so calm. And every car that went by would stop. Do you need a ride? I'm like, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, look, it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah. So when I get back, but actually the guy who was in Don's place, he actually came out looking for me. And he goes, Mike, just get in and I'll drive you back. I'm like, you know what? I really need to walk. I really need to get this energy out, because if I don't, I'm liable to punch someone in the mouth, and I don't want to do that. So I walk back, calm down. I get back, I'm good, because I'm tired now. We worked all day. I just walked 2 miles in it wasn't Arctic. It was like 45 degrees. but it was just comfortable. I had a good time. So I get back and I'm talking to the one pastor that's there, and he goes, I told him, that I had walked back, and it was a nice walk, and everybody stopped and asked if I needed a ride. And he's like, do you know why they stop and ask if you need a ride? Because they don't like white people up there. They do not like white people. And I'm like, well, I really hadn't thought about it. He goes, picture this. He goes, when I got here, it was 45 below zero with 2 feet of snow on the ground. Any one of those cars could have been in a ditch when I was driving along that road. Do you want to be the guy who didn't stop and help somebody when they needed it? I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. So I go through this. So I go back to work. And these assholes that I work with, I tell them this story, and all of a sudden I was arguing with pastors and everything. So fast forward to going to Saipan, we had our little troll of a guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds familiar when Harold made you move that ladder 6 times.
Yeah.
He just wanted to see how many times you would move it before you got mad at him.
Yeah. I told him I'm not moving it again. I'm not.
Wait, I don't think I've heard this story yet, but
it was the one night we were cleaning up at the first house. Okay. Yeah, what was her name? Maria.
Yeah.
And I forget her husband's name. I have it in my phone somewhere. But anyways, we were cleaning up, and we put this stuff outside that little outside room, like in the garage, where the car
like the walk-in part out front.
Yeah, you guys weren't there yet.
Okay.
And he wasn't happy with it there because I guess people would steal it, and so he made Mike put it inside the room, and then somebody bitched that they didn't want it inside the room and made him pull it back out, and then it wasn't good enough there, so they made him put it in the trailer.
Just Harold being Harold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He couldn't make up his fucking mind, and it was just, I think Don made
you're still equating this to me. You're still making me the asshole.
Yeah, because he saw you. It was
Hold on, but like the second day, you said I'm ready to kill that fucker.
Yeah, he calmed me down. I was,
and I'm like, now you see what I'm talking about?
I forget what he did. I think it was the water.
Yeah, the water thing was.
He yelled at us for drinking too much water.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like, what are you doing with all the water? We're drinking it, dude. You see, I am drenched. This is not water I poured over my head. I'm drenched in sweat.
He'd show up in his AC, cranked up in his truck, and tell us what to do, and then leave again pretty much.
I would get so mad because he would be sitting in that truck for 2 hours.
On the phone.
In the AC.
And then he'd come out and goes, that's not right. And then get back in the car.
Yeah. He was like, not a leader, just a boss. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Exactly. The thing is he might be a nice guy. He might be. He really, I doubt it, but he might be.
I'll go with the second.
Bend over so I can smack you.
But why can't I bend over? Why can't you just smack me here? Why you gotta make it
far away?
Hey, bend over so I can touch your butt.
I'm gonna smack you in the head, not your ass, you queer.
Anyway, it's so many different personalities getting together that you never know how they're gonna rub. And I get that.
But I think for the most part, I got along with everyone.
Yeah, except with that guy who came at the end.
The weird guy.
Yeah, the weird guy.
Dennis, white hair.
Yeah, the hippie.
Yeah, no. You're not thinking. The hippie was the one with the mustache down to here. For now.
He was that skinny guy.
He was that like protester. He was the professional protester.
Yeah, because we looked him up on his record.
Yeah, he spent the night in jail out west somewhere. Pipeline protester.
Yeah.
That was great.
Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Questionable. Very questionable.
But like,
he was weird to talk to.
He was weird. And he gave me a real creepy vibe.
Yeah, I got like a child molester vibe.
Yeah, kind of like, do you have any daughters vibe?
Yeah. John and I work in a jail for a long time, and you get a feel for people like that, and it's just like he just...
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and remember the one morning I think he was telling us the story? Was very into it.
Yeah.
Like it's just...
And then there was this little boy.
Right.
and a boy. No.
Yeah. There was one thing I was a little nervous about when I first got there. I'm like, you're like, yeah, we got to meet in the morning, and like, dude, I'm like, what? You get these prayers? I'm like, we all sit in a circle and like sing Kumbaya. I ain't down with that.
Well, the whole singing thing, I'm not real big on singing.
Actually, I didn't mind that.
Yeah, didn't Dennis like split it up in two people? Or in two versions?
Right, we had the whole one part. You put something in there yet.
Yeah, it wasn't. Once I like went there and saw what it was all about, it wasn't bad.
I gotta say my favorite part was like about that situation was where Dennis was like hard hat.
Work gloves, a mask.
This has to be safe.
Need a heart rate monitor.
Yeah.
You know OSHA.
Yeah, no OSHA, so don't get hurt.
And you guys can't have hammers on the roof anymore in case somebody would drop one,
Ugh.
He did tell us that. That was hilarious because then me and Juan started throwing our hammers at him when he'd ask for a hammer. He'd be like, hey, heads up.
Oh.
Now Juan was a character too. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was.
He's a little lost in life, like drifting. I don't want to say lost. He's just drifting.
Needs to find his place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was a cool dude. I
wonder where he is now.
I just saw he was someplace. He went to Japan, then he went to Korea, and then he went someplace else. And I
seen it on Facebook the other day. I'm trying to think of the name of the place, but yeah,
see if I can pull it up here.
Definitely seen some cool places.
You guys ever talked to him yet?
I talked to him a couple months after he left, and then back and forth on Messenger, but not really. He's always bouncing around. And
Yeah.
Different time zone, different places.
was it just you three young guys then, or was there someone else?
After you guys left, we got 3 Canadians.
Yeah, they were pretty chill. Like
they were
a little more laid back, but yeah, super nice to work with. Like, do anything.
I like the old Ben. When old Ben came, that dude knew his shit.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, and he wasn't pushy.
He wasn't pushy. He was laid back. He's another Canadian though.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, because Irv was Canadian, and who was the other guy that was with Irv? The tall, skinny guy.
It was Andrew or Arnold.
Arnold. Yeah, Arnold was cool.
Yeah.
Arnold just wanted to do it. Just leave me alone, do my stuff, dude. And he knew what he was doing too.
Irv was. Oh, God.
Arlen.
Irv was okay, but
he's a nice guy, but
he's just got a little.
He just rubbed me the wrong way. Like we weren't seeing. Like he felt he knew a lot more than he did.
Yeah, he was an engineer, so I think like, hey, I'm an engineer, I should know how this works.
And that's the problem. I think like with someone who's a brain surgeon, no bedside manner. Like, because I've been through that with my wife and my daughter. No bedside manner for neurosurgeons. Like they just, but they're good at what they do.
Yeah,
you might be good at being an engineer, but you don't know how to build houses, bro. Like you don't know how to build them. You know how to draw them or engineer them for weight distribution and stuff like that, but you don't know how to build them.
I just have fun watching you two argue back and forth about purlins and firewalls.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you guys weren't over there. It was at the last house we worked on, the one you could see from the.
Yeah, we weren't over there. We were over at the other one.
We were over at
what was her name?
Her daughter's name.
What? Surprise!
Cha-ching!
But we had there's a block wall in the back. I'm like, you got to support that block wall somehow, and like I've built stuff, so like I'm not the smartest person when it comes to building.
You didn't entertain your idea till Ben came through.
When Ben came through, and the funny thing was, I was on the other side of the wall.
It's okay, Ben. Okay.
Irv didn't know that I heard everything he said, and Ben's out there saying, "No, you can't do it that way. You got to support that wall, and you got to do this." And it was everything I had just told him. And so he comes back around, and I'm doing whatever I'm doing with Grace and what was Grace's husband?
Tom,
yeah.
Tom, the Pink Flags guy.
I like those guys. I like Tom and Grace. They were so cool.
Yeah, really laid back.
Yeah,
like, just a good time in general.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Grace had a good time at all.
Well, no, because Irv was talking sideways to her, and I said something to her about it.
Okay.
Like he was telling her how to sweep the floor, and like
she was sweeping the floor, and he's like, "Hey, Grace, you missed a spot."
I'm like, dude. I said, don't be disrespectful.
Totally demeaning to her.
Yeah.
Like, don't be disrespectful, dude. So he comes back on the other side of the wall. He starts talking to me. He's like, yeah, well, I decided that maybe you had a valid point, and then we're gonna do this, this, and this. And I'm like, dude, I just told you.
Yeah.
And I said to him, the funny thing was, I heard Ben tell you the same thing. And he just put his head down and walked away. But I could have gotten through that situation and not said that, but that's not me.
Yeah. Well, to say, I don't know. That guy just basically comes back about that matter. Like, just in general, he was just rude.
Yeah, he was.
Like, even to the waitresses, he was just like, demanding.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, dude.
It might
be surprised he didn't like grab their ass and call them toots or something.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing. And the dude ordered like a 6-course meal every meal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so when we were there, like, they didn't have, like, when I was there the first time, they had someone who cooked. And they cooked every meal for us. They would go out, do the shopping. They'd come back. We went to a central location.
I was prepared to like not eat a whole lot the whole time we were there.
They really were chintzy on the food the first time, and one of the guys that was with me, we used to we'd eat you can only have 2 pieces of bacon. Well, he didn't eat bacon, so he would get his 2 pieces and give them to me. You couldn't fill yourself up before work, and I get it. Things are expensive there. You're on a budget, and you're trying to feed a lot of people, and I get it. And I had no problem spending my money to get whatever I had to eat. I didn't have a problem with it, but they were kind of obnoxious about it. And I expected, and I told them that. I'm like, I expect that, dude, because we're both.
Yeah, and it was
we're both eaters.
opposite.
Let's face it, we're both eaters. So we got there, and they decided that they were going to take us out to a different restaurant every night because they didn't have someone to cook. They didn't have a central place to have a meal. When I was there before, they rented 2 houses, and that's where everybody stayed.
Wasn't that up on the hill?
Yeah, up on top of Chow.
Yeah.
And so we go out to these restaurants, and this dude would sit there, and he'd order a salad, a main course, and a dessert every meal. And then we get looked at funny when we order chicken.
Yeah, you guys there.
Were you ever went to the chicken place?
I think so. You got a rack or something?
Well, we ordered
a whole chicken.
We ordered. There was a whole order and a half order. I didn't know what that meant.
I didn't either.
Me and him were the first 2 to order because I'm fucking hungry. So I ordered that horseradish chicken, and I said, "Well, I get a whole order." And if you want some, you can have some. If you want some, you can. I offered it to everybody. It wasn't like I sat there and hoarded it and freaking Harold's like, "What? You're getting a whole fucking chicken?" I'm like, I got a whole order. I don't know. I've never been here before.
Yeah. Don't worry, Harold. We'll eat it for lunch tomorrow.
And we did.
Oh yeah.
We killed that shit.
We killed that shit at the restaurant.
Well, it was the next night when we decided that we weren't going to go out to eat with everybody. You felt that overstepped, okay. So, and then they got pissed off because we didn't go out to eat with everybody.
Harold was just a piece of work.
Because I said to him, we're going to skip dinner tonight. What? I said, we're not going to go. Well, I was the only authorized driver in that car.
Oh, that's right. They asked me, they said, well, what about you, John? I'm like, I put my arm around you. I'm like, I'm going to stick to what my wife says.
Yeah, I do remember.
And that's the night we went to the Korean barbecue and had the best meal ever while we were there. It was, I would never have gone in that place.
See?
Tell that story. Tell the story about when we went to the Korean barbecue.
So dogs do taste good, though, or?
Oh, I've eaten it before. I've eaten dog before.
So, yeah, my Saipan wife.
In the Philippines. Like the guy said, you don't see any cows here, right?
You didn't see any cows there.
No.
Or goats.
There was some cows in Saipan, though. On the north end of the island. I remember seeing one, the day we got the truck stuck, but that's another story.
Well, you can tell it. Tell a story.
The locals warned us about the cows after we took the Mustang out and hit $1.30 on the straight stretch. You're like, oh, you guys didn't see any cows. And we're like, no.
Well, they just walk out the road.
Wow, that's impressive. There's not a whole lot of road to go that fast.
Yeah.
That one straight stretch.
It amazed me that you got that car up to that.
I guess something goes.
It amazed me because
just stop in the middle of the road and get out and lay across the hood.
Yeah. Well, we did that. Photos of that. Yeah.
I got photos of us down at the. I'll throw some photos up on here as we're talking. I have on Instagram it's Mission Mike 911 and on Facebook it's Mission Mike. All the photos from when we were there. There's hundreds of them. But I got photos of you and me laying on the front of the car.
I remember when we did that over on there.
I had pictures of that too.
But we'll tell that. So tell the Korean barbecue.
So yeah, we went to that was the night we split up. Me and Mike went down into downtown Saipan. What was that part? Garapan. And we went to I Love Saipan. And it's a big.
He found his future wife.
My future wife. And so then I asked her. I said, "Where's a good place to get Korean barbecue around here?" And she said, right around the corner, and you can't miss it, and you make a left.
You tell him Helen sent you.
Yeah, tell him Helen sent you, so you spit in your food. And so we get there, and of course Mike's all scared. Oh, I won't go in.
I have OCD. I'm kind of a germaphobe, so if it looks dirty, I don't know that And I said to him, I'm like, dude, that just does not look like a place that I want to eat.
I was like, I don't care, we're going. So I'll go anywhere. I'll go into the...
We got inside, it was clean inside.
Yeah, we go in and...
The outside looked like
Well, everything on the outside looks run down there.
Yeah.
It's
Washboarded a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think, was that the first night we had, what the hell's that shit called?
Soju.
Soju?
Yeah.
That drink.
Love it.
Yeah. What did they describe that as? It's like some kind of like
Some rice liquor.
rice liquor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's made with sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Not all of them. I think the one in Saipan said it was made
Purple
with
sweet potatoes.
But anyway, so
That's
we
good.
get in there, and it's like this whole spread of meat, potatoes, and a grill in the middle. You cook your own food, sort of almost like a hibachi. And she kept giving us these soyus, and she's like, "You want one each?"
Yeah, we ordered a soju, and he's like, "You each want one?"
I'm like,
And
"Yeah."
I'm like, "Yeah." Like American, man.
You ever have a Four Loco?
Yeah. I had Four Loco when it was still the shit.
And
Back before they cut it down.
Yeah.
so we got a little buzzed up there, I guess.
I did because I was driving.
And right. And so we ate this really good food, and I wasn't sure. We're like, how the hell do we eat this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, just like put it in a lettuce wrap and whatever. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just eat it. And
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah.
good. It's good.
needless to say, he loved it, and he had a good time. But the funniest part was, I don't know if we told you that. I'm sure we did. But when we left, there was two drunk Korean guys or Asian guys sitting on the porch, and Mike walks through, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Like, Godzilla! Like, you fat boy, you need to go on diet. I swear to God, they said that to him.
That's exactly what they said.
You fat boy, you need to go on diet.
They look like the stereotypical Chinese guy smoking a
Fucking
cigarette,
laughing at him.
like chain smoking cigarettes. You need to go on diet.
And they were probably, like 4'8" or something?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got in the clown car and like left.
Yeah, like I said to him, I said, "Dude, I don't really want to get this car right now."
They were laughing at you the whole time. It was hilarious.
Because they gave us the smallest car possible.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the second smallest car. Because they gave us the Kona. Because the lady looked at me, she goes, "You ain't gonna fit in the accent." And I'm like, "Well, I drove an accent last time I was here, and there was 4 of us my size in it."
Good
Poor
Lord.
And that car was scraping going up top of Chow.
Yeah.
That car was scraping the ground.
Well, that whole road just like
Yeah,
wash.
we knew where every single pothole was. We were going back and forth, going up the hill.
Well, I know even what was that, a Kona? You guys
Yeah, that
said?
was a Kona.
Yeah, I know even that, like in the back seat, it was a bit tight.
Well, that's because I had the seat back so
Yeah.
far so I could hit the pedals.
laid the seat back pretty much.
Oh, man.
But it all worked out, so.
We took that car out to Top Cow, didn't we? Or was that the work truck?
No, we took that at the top of Chow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had pictures of you guys standing in a car up on top
I
of
said
Chow.
you guys brought your drone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did take the drone up there.
That's when I learned how heavy my breathing was. Like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on here? Is it really that loud?
Well, you were walking uphill, dude. I'm going to stick up for you.
Yeah. I was already, we drove uphill, and I was walking
I got good
across the
pictures
top.
up there of all of us.
Yeah.
I got good pictures of Pablo and you sitting on the rail separate, not
Yeah.
together, not holding hands or nothing. I got a good picture of you when you were flying the drone with your goggles on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got a few of myself there, too. But did I ever send you those drone pictures then?
You sent me the drone picture from above with
Oh, okay.
all 5 of us there, which was cool because, like, how else you gonna get that picture? Like, we're all like,
You're not gonna, yeah. That's pretty much the only way you
John's
get up there.
doing like the whole bikini dance over there, but it's all good. Like,
You know.
and there was
Gotta represent.
there was a lot of stuff to see. Did you guys see everything on the island that you wanted to see? I mean, we wanted to go to Tinny and we didn't get there, but
For the most part, we met a couple of the locals, and one of the locals took us into that underwater cave.
yeah, we didn't get there. That's
see, that was pretty neat.
a little
Yeah.
envious of that.
Yeah. Well, you went along on that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I was along that. That's
Seen a jellyfish, like, as we're
Mhm.
swimming in the cave, and I'm just like, oh, I had no idea what they look like. Like, I've never seen a jellyfish before.
Yeah.
Didn't you see a shark?
Yes, I have a picture of a shark when I was scuba diving
Yeah.
because I went scuba diving over the weekend.
We went to, did you guys go over to Tank Beach?
Tank Beach being the
That would
one.
have been the opposite side of where our hotel was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were over there. We went over there with, was it Jesse?
Jesse, yeah, that was, we worked on Jesse's parents' house.
Right.
Went cliff jumping.
Yeah, won't do that again. No. Well, maybe. No.
Now, the first time I was there, Tank Beach, they had machine gun emplacements on the beach. But when we were there from that second storm, it had washed them away.
Was the water just as warm on the other side?
Yeah.
I would have said so, yeah.
We had, remember Dean?
Yeah.
You guys didn't meet Dean. Dean was
he was, yeah.
Texas dude?
No.
He's the dude who got the Kona after me.
Yeah.
Because when he was coming in, they said they were going to try to get him the bigger car too because he's a big dude.
He was huge. This dude was jumping off, scuba diving. He's in his 70s.
Yeah,
he was
like
awesome.
super cool.
That's what I want to be like when I'm 70. I just want to go scuba diving.
Yeah. He's jumping off the cliff and just pretty much, I think he got his first, not scuba diving, but his first pair of goggles. He was just sitting there.
Just floating around like, yeah.
He was
That's awesome.
really tall dude, part Navajo. Like, he was just a hoot. We had a lot of fun. First day I met him, I just started picking on him. Talk with the guy. Stood right back. I'm like, all right, we're going to get along.
So what did you find remarkable about the island? I mean, like, what stands out?
Clear water. Like, that was the first place I've ever been where I've seen just crystal clear water for
The
70
Chinese
feet
tourists
down.
stand out to me.
We kind of had that problem when we slid around the corner and they were parked for outside in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Chinese tourists would rent the brightest color Mustang you could.
Yeah, it didn't really matter on the car brand. It was just, it had to be bright red, pink, orange,
green,
whatever.
Yeah. And they'll drive down the road, just stop in the middle of the road, turn broadside, and lay on the hood of the car and take pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, like most of them, I mean, they weren't that great. They weren't bad, but they weren't great.
Well,
kind of like the food we mentioned earlier. But
the first time I was there were some young kids and I had the car, so they wanted to go out. They went to hike out to Forbidden Island, and I know my dudes couldn't have taken a hike, so I'm like, I'm fat. I'll stay in the car. You guys take as long as you want, and I'll just stay in the area, and I'll keep checking, the trailhead every 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. If you're 3 hours, I don't care. Just go have fun. So I went up and I sat in the overlook, and when I got up there was 2 Chinese guys and a Chinese chick. She's standing up on the guardrail overlooking the Forbidden Island, buck naked, and they're taking pictures. So I walked up, I got my camera, and I just go like this, and they look at me. I'm like, "What?
You should have got buck naked too and walked out next to him." Man, don't mind me.
Get in my belly.
Just doing a photo shoot over here.
Yeah.
I wish I would have seen more World War II shit. I don't know how much they have on that island.
Well, we saw the command center. Did you guys get to see that?
Was that close to where we swam out of the tanks or no?
No. The Japanese command center was like, if you were going out to Bird Island, it was on the right hand side there where the guns were. You can see them from the side of the road.
Yeah.
If you walk up there's a cave, and that's where the Japanese command center was.
Where they had all like the Jap tanks.
Yes. Yeah.
We went there with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Pablo was there with us.
Yeah. Because we kind of met up above there and then followed you down through.
Yeah.
Because we both started off.
We met you at Suicide Cliff.
Yeah.
You guys were in the truck.
Yeah, that was before we got the truck stuck.
That's funny. That truck was there the last time, 2 years before that. That was the same truck that was there when I was there.
I think I was hitting on some freaking
old Korean lady,
Asian lady that was there. You remember when we took our picture in front of that sign?
Yeah.
I know that chick wanted me.
Yeah, I'm sure she did.
How
could she not? How could she not, bro?
How could you not like all this? You know what I'm saying? I make good money. You come back America, me. I make good money. That's all they care about.
Tell us about getting the truck stuck.
Well, I have a paranoia of like being in the woods after dark. So like my blood pressure is going through the roof. Like I hate being in the woods after dark.
Well, to start off, we're following we're at the north end of the island here, and we get on this dirt road. Like, oh, this looks great. And the farther we go, the narrower this road gets, and it keeps on going like down towards the water. It's slightly downhill, not super steep, but after a while we get to a point where we can't really turn around, and it's the middle of the afternoon, so we just send it.
I said something to you about it. Do you think we should go down? Because it literally went like this and dropped down. And I said something to Harlan. I was like, "Do you think we should do that?" Or no, this seems like a bad idea. And he's like, "Well, that's never stopped you before."
That's true.
Anyway, yeah. So we fully sent it down there, and we got down to the beach. We looked around a little bit, and we decided we're going to go back up. Well, the truck's only 2-wheel drive. So, how was it? Did we fully send it the first time, or did we try to creep up over?
I tried creeping up. It didn't work, so back down. Second time up, I centered it on the rear axle.
Yeah, like the rear axle, we got stuck on top of a rock, and both wheels were spinning. We weren't going nowhere.
How'd you get it out?
You took a jack and lifted the rear end.
Yeah, we had the emergency jack that comes like with the truck, lifted the rear axle, took a ratchet strap that somehow we had in the back of the truck, and tied it to a tree and pulled it off the rock. We backed up and just sent it again and actually made it. But
well, we got a little more strategic about sending it. Like, hey, if we go on this side and then head back on the other side, kind of work our way up through while just completely flooring it. But in my defense, our coordinator told us to go out and take the truck and go. What do you describe as bushwhacking?
I think he said bushwhacking. Yeah.
We both looked at him and we're like, "Yeah, where are we gonna go bushwhacking? Go out on the island." All right, good.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense now.
Was not sure where he was going with that.
Yeah, in the end, we made it out unharmed. The truck seemed to work fine yet.
We busted the mirror off and you fixed it with a piece of wood.
Yeah, I did fix it with a piece of wood. I think we ran a roof screw in it the next day. It worked then, but either way, nobody knew, and like it had been through places before.
The cross-eyed guy up the street.
That truck was a couple places before.
Oh yeah.
I happen to know that.
What'd you guys do with it?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I think I drove that home one day. I can't remember.
But didn't
I think I drove out. No, that was what's his name's truck?
You drove his orange truck home.
Oh, that thing was nice.
Yeah.
Like he let you drive that? Harold let you drive that?
Yeah. I don't think he was happy about it.
We got the smallest rental car available. He got the biggest truck on the island.
Yeah, pretty much.
But next to the MDS
diesel
truck, that one was pretty big.
Yeah. He comes blowing diesel stacks down the freaking highway.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's just for compensation, though, so no big deal.
It turns out the only diesel station's at the other opposite side of the island. I'll be back in a couple hours, guys.
Just spending all the donations here. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
I actually went and visited the family that we had done their house the time I was there 2 years before you guys. And they didn't know who was pulling up because I had a beard. Like I didn't have I only had the goatee when I was there last time. And I get out and I have my beard. And they're like, she's looking at me. She goes, "Oh my God, Mikey!" Like right away, she knew who I was, and they invited me into their house because they had told me before, "You ever come back to this island? This is your house." And that's just how appreciative the people were there.
Yeah, you remember when
compared to the other places I've been.
Yeah.
Remember when we left Maria's house? She was in tears.
Yeah.
Well, didn't she make her? No, that wasn't Maria.
That was the other one.
We were at where we did the roof. Didn't she make something for us before we left, like yellow rice?
No, that was her husband. He made like the tuna fish, chicken,
that
curry
was really
chicken,
good stuff.
the rice. Yeah.
But, like the family that we helped the first time that I went back and visited, when we were done with their house, they put a meal together, like a barbecue together, and they have
that's right,
some kind of chicken gravy on their chicken. Anyway, it's really good. But I know it was like it couldn't have been cheap for them.
They go all out,
and they didn't have anything, but they just felt so appreciative. And I know when I was in West Virginia, and the people were like, "Thank you, you're helping us."
Yeah.
But like there was always like the last house was Eric. Eric was there every day he wasn't working. Now he worked for a company that did stuff with boats and rescue craft and stuff like that. But every day he wasn't working, he was there working with us, carrying stuff out. And when we were gone at night, he was carrying, like, we didn't have to take all the drop-off pieces. He took them all out. He took all that stuff out. And, you know, that just so appreciative of the help and whatnot. But, like we were I went up in Bradford County. We built a couple bridges up there from flooding. And the one lady up there had 2 dogs. And one of them, they were both pity mixes. And the one was a boxer mix. And like I love those dogs. The one dog would just sit there at the window while we're doing the roof, just sit there and look at me all day, looking out the window. And so every once in a while, she'll send pictures to the lady from the organization I work with, Team Orksburg, and she'll send pictures of the pups for me just because, like, I love those puppies so much. Like, the one would come out and play with me every day. He gets so excited when he saw me. And, like, she was appreciative. It's like, she was always very appreciative. And her grandson was there. Like, a 16-year-old kid was up on the roof with us. And, like, this roof was, like, 10 layers of cedar shakes, shingles, like shingles on top of shingles on top of shingles. It was
the sponge.
It was horrible. But we got that all stripped off and put it on. But that kid was up there with us all weekend long until he had to go back to school on Monday. You know, so that was a little different. But like in Saipan, like everybody was just so thankful we were there.
Everybody treated you like their next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Literally. Like it didn't matter who you were, everybody was super friendly.
That's why I fell in love with that island. Like I'd go back there anytime.
Like, right. I mean, the island is a nice place, but it's the people.
Right.
It's not something you get over here.
No, you don't have people being that appreciative and that thankful. And in St. Croix, when I was in St. Croix, my wife went with me. My wife's uncle went along, and it was hot down there. But like the one lady we were helping, she was the nicest lady in the world. But it was like, you know, what else can you do for me?
Kind of like you owe me this, like you owe them something, kind of.
Yeah, and,
wow.
And like, and she never came out and said anything like that. But she goes, "Well, I have this. Are you guys going to do this? Are you guys going to do this?" And like, I'll gladly do it, gladly, because like, she wasn't someone who could do it for herself, but her husband was someone who could have done some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And like, they didn't really lift a hand to help, and I'm not there to judge anybody or their situation or what their knowledge is and whatnot. So I just happily do the work and do what needs to be done. But both times I was in Saipan, I felt so rewarded with the experience.
Yeah, they
not just
like living in freaking old FEMA tents.
Not just with the work. Yeah, the family that I helped the first time, they lived in that tent for a year, like literally in a shanty for a year. While their house was being redone.
It's sort of how with the second house we were.
Yeah.
Like they had a tarp. No, there was a tent in the front yard.
Yep.
The whole family was living out there. They had like a TV in there. They had little kids living in there, and they would get picked up at the school bus every morning. And you would walk into the kitchen area, and there was a tarp over the roof. But when it rained, it was just pouring into the front house.
When we left that house, the last day we were there, when Eric came over, brought the kids over. Both of those kids gave us the biggest hug, and I was like, I felt like, you know, it just, like, they were like, thank you so much, you know, and within a week after we left, they could move back in that house.
Yeah.
Because Ben was there, and Ben, like, old Ben was there, and he busted that out, and they have pictures of it done for me, because I wanted to see it done, and Eric had sent me pictures, and I talk to Eric every once in a while. It's been a while, so I'll probably hit him up this weekend now that we're talking. But just to say, hey, what's up? But you just felt so appreciated there, and like I said, I was in Alaska, West Virginia, St. Croix, Saipan twice, and we were supposed to go to North Carolina this past year, but Corona.
Yeah.
Plus, I had Corona when we were supposed to be there. Like I got the Rona.
How bad was it?
It was bad. It was the worst flu I ever had.
Okay.
But I also spent 7 days in the hospital because I ended up with multifocal pneumonia, and I don't remember 2 of those days. Like I legit, I kept on saying 5 days in the hospital. My wife said, "No, you were in the hospital for 7 days." I was in the hospital for 5 days. He goes, "No, it was 7."
Yeah, well, that definitely does not sound like fun, but
no. So, you know, and we work someplace where one person gets corona, it's going to run rampant.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
But back to Saipan, like the biggest thing for me is like, their thankfulness, their whatever. Everybody's genuine. You know what I mean? Like they're not just like, oh, thanks, but really. Yeah.
Well, when you go into restaurants there, they have a local price, and then they have a tourist price. And they'd always ask us, like the first time I was there, they'd always ask, "Are you local?" And I'm like, "Well, not really. We're here with MDS and FEMA doing No, you're local.
Yeah.
Like when I went out to Mahanaga Island, the first time I went there, I went scuba diving. It was the first time I scuba dived. It was like a discovery dive. So you had to go take a class, and then they took you out in the surf, and they showed you how to do everything. And when you get off the boat there, if you're not a local, if you don't have a CMNI ID, it's a $5 charge just to come on the recreation island, which is not a big deal.
Yeah.
But when I got off, the guy came up to me. He goes, "You local, and you have a CMNI ID?" And I'm like, "No, we're here with MDS doing rebuilding from the Typhoon." And they said, "No, you're local. You're family." And I'm like, look at that. I'm like, because I'm reaching for my wallet. I'll give you the $5.
Yeah.
And he's no. He goes, "You put that away. You're local."
That's awesome.
Yeah. And when we went to, I took the kids out one night. I call them kids, but they were all 21. We went down to Hard Rock Cafe, had a couple drinks, and the waitress came over, asked the same thing, "Are you local?" And like she's holding 2 menus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, but we're here with MDS." Blah, blah. She gives us the local. You're locals.
Yeah.
You know, that and that family said, "This is your house. When you come back to this island, this is your home. This is where you stay."
But even Doris, the last house we were at, the blue one, she was like, "If you guys ever come back, just call me or Jesse. He'll come pick you up at the airport." Like,
yeah, that was well, didn't Doris's sister invite us over to their house for a birthday party? Like they had a birthday party for one of the families, and they're like, "Yeah, all you guys are included." The not the Russians, the Canadians came with us.
Yeah. And Doris, that was the one we went over. I think it was like the last night we were there. You kind of ended up falling asleep, and I had to arrange the flights. But anyway, what I was getting at, they made us each a cake like before we left.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Like, yeah, they were like, "Here, this is for you guys." Like, well, we're leaving tomorrow, but thank you very much.
Her nephew gave me some locally grown, and I immediately told him.
Yeah, he was like, we're sitting out there in the porch, and they're having like a barbecue, and after about 10, 15 minutes, he's just like, "Well, I think I'm going to go out to the truck." And I come out there, and he's just kind of curled up there in the passenger seat. It was a good time. But
I did not drive back.
He slept back like the entire way. You did wake up at like, what was it, 2 or 3 o'clock
2 or 3 in the morning, pack my bags, we're good to go by 6, yeah.
Damn.
But no, it was just like the people in general were really super friendly. Just something you don't see around here.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that, like kind of made the whole trip.
What about when we went down to that big casino?
We were actually going down to the beach club. We were walking through the back streets, and they were offering massages.
Yeah. $200. No, I'm not interested. 150? Like, no, we're good.
You want massage? Ben tells him the big guy, I think, wants a massage. You want massage? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
Oh, yeah. He says, yeah, he does.
He wants one, yeah. It's only $150. Like, you can make that in a day. What?
Yeah, it was cool. We went to that bar on that beach bar.
Yeah.
And didn't we run into 2 other people while we were there? Oh, or was it just us 4?
I think it was.
I think Juan was there too.
Juan was with us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we got one.
God damn it, I don't remember.
They didn't even card one.
We had those dancers there. We were watching that show
Well,
for
they
a while.
didn't really. Well, they did.
That's where that was the evening we basically walked all over the town.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Got a little, yeah.
We started at that little bar on the one street, and we walked down. We walked out to the beach bar, and
well, we were actually the beach bar. That was part of the hotel. I'm not sure if we were even supposed to be there.
I don't think we were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
Charlie, this is my room, 223.
Right. That one bar that we went to was pretty cool. Like that sliding wooden door.
Yeah, that was the first bar we went to that night.
That
was a pretty cool place.
oh yeah, met Jen and her friend.
Yeah, that was the first
trying to
night
think of the
we
name of
kind of
it.
went out together.
Yeah.
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 And we stopped at the firehouse. Oh, I'm big on like police patches and stuff, and we stopped at the firehouse, talked to the firehouse guys, and
Yeah.
You got some patches.
yeah, I got some patches. Yeah. One of my buddies is a police officer in the local town over here, and he collects like he's a hardcore collector of patches. So I made sure he got one. I got him one from Galena, Alaska, too.
Oh wow.
I got 2. I got the whatever the one where all the MDS stored all their products, the wood and stuff.
Yeah, those guys were basically the state police.
Yeah. And then we drove up to that one place in the hills.
Oh,
To
yeah.
a police station. Yeah. They had the boat in there and everything.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember we went there. Were we with you guys, or was that
I
later?
think you were.
I think we went there when you guys went to pick up your patches.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Man, I remember those two chicks in that meeting, the MDS like headquarters there. I was like, God, I got to get on this freaking session. Like, how do I? Or no, they weren't. They were with FEMA.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and the funny thing was,
I got to get a job with FEMA.
we could have went back because we were like, I brought up the fact that the time I was there before, I ran electric for everything,
Yeah.
and I won't touch electric if it's live because it scares the shit out of me. But I know how to run. Okay, whatever. I know how to run electric, and I mentioned it to him because we kept on being told by Harold that we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that.
a lot.
I'm like, I can't leave this wire just hang in the ceiling and close it. I can't do that. And the lady said, no, we absolutely we do that. That's the necessity. We just don't run for HVAC. We don't run electric for air conditioning.
I thought she said they do that.
Well, she said you probably could, but you can't say that's what it's for.
Yeah. It's the whole.
But so we actually had the opportunity to go back and just do that, but we had to go on without MDS. We would have been fending for ourselves for food and everything, and that
I would still do it.
That's a hard sell.
Yeah.
I would do
At
it.
the time, they were going to pay our airfare, but everything else we would have to live off our per diem.
Your airfare alone's like what?
$3,000.
3 or 4 grand?
Yeah.
35 or $3,800
Yeah.
round trip.
First class. I looked up first class for the way back.
$10,000.
Yeah, it's like,
Jesus
nope.
Christ.
Nope.
I just wanted to sleep in one of those little beds
Yeah.
on the plane.
But even first class, that would have been awesome for the way back. But
We did upgrade to every plane we could. I upgraded us to where we had a little more leg room.
Okay. Wait, is there like a tall people seat?
no, there's just a seat at the front, close to the door. They have 4 feet of leg room instead of being.
Like at
you
the,
have to-
the emergency exits,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the wing exits. I always try to get those seats.
I remember when I
So you don't
first
have to
got
deal
on
with anybody else.
when I got on the plane from Chicago to South Korea. I sit down
Detroit.
on Detroit to South Korea, and I'm like,
That was Tokyo. But anyway, continue.
No, we went to South Korea.
You went to South Korea.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Really? They're not supposed to send you to South Korea.
That's the first thing Harold said to us.
You,
well,
you
we
went to
went.
South Korea? You're
Really?
not supposed to do that.
I'm like, we just
Like,
went
sorry,
to
I was tugging on the pilot's shoulder to take us to Tokyo,
Yeah.
but
I said, hey, Harold doesn't want us going here.
but
Turn this plane around right now.
Harold
Hell's
says so.
orders. Yeah.
But I'm sitting in this chair, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be a fucking long ride. It's tight, right? And I look down and I see a pair of slippers, and I'm like, I looked at the guy next to me. I'm like, what the hell are the slippers for? And I think he might have been I think he was a flight attendant. He's like, well, you see all these guys walking around in business shoes? He's like, yeah, they're not very comfortable. I'm like, well, slipper. I'm like, fuck, if I could bend down and get those, I would totally put them on.
I
I'm
would
like,
totally put them on.
that ain't happening. So I kind of pushed him under the seat like this.
Well, but the first time I went, we flew into Narita, and on our plane from Narita to Guam, we were on it was 4 seats in the middle, 3 seats on both sides. So it was a huge plane, but there was no one in my row. So I laid across all 4 seats. The only time I woke up is when they brought the food out. They brought some good food on that plane.
Wafers.
Well, they brought us those Dove ice cream
You're
bars,
hungry, that's all. But anyway.
the Dove ice cream bars,
Yeah.
like the Magnum bars. They brought them out at one point as a snack. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking ice cream. I'll eat it. Look at me, I'm fat. Do I want one? Stupid question.
I forget the woman got fed twice. I think it was.
That was from Detroit to Korea. And then we got to Korea. I saw a Krispy Kreme in the Korean airport. I'm like, I'm getting a Korean Krispy Kreme. I don't care.
We flew into Narita, and on our flight, I lost you, you lost me, whatever. Anyways, I go outside the airport, come back in. Didn't even have to show my passport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their security's top notch.
Well, my first time, I said I want to get a stamp in my passport.
Tell them about that weapon you freaking
Oh, Jesus.
snuck through security.
Do you know the knife I had
Yeah.
at the job site? I had it in my bag. Well, I forgot it was in my bag. But now I have a wallet that is RFID blocking. So when you scan it, it just shows a big black square. Well, it must have been in front of this knife, but I went through. I left Saipan with it in my carry-on over my shoulder. Got to Narita, went through Narita with it. Got to Chicago, went through Chicago with it. We got back to Allentown, and
No, you found it when we were in Chicago.
oh, did I? Okay, I'm like,
You're like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, well, where did that come from? And we had just walked through the freaking security, right to the metal detector.
because when you come back into continental United States,
Yeah.
you got to go through
You gotta go
TSA
through,
again.
Yeah.
and we had just made it through, and I'm like, how the fuck did this get through every security ever?
Yeah, that's pretty alarming.
That was
Yeah, it's kind
because
of
it wasn't like a little blade. It's a big
It's got a
fucking knife.
4-inch
Yeah.
blade on it. Do some damage with that.
You wrap your knife in RFID block and stuff, you'll be done.
But the wallet would show a big
Yeah.
square, and if the knife was behind it, it just wouldn't show it.
Well, now you know. I mean,
Yeah.
But now I take my CPAP machine because I always take that carry on,
Okay.
and they give me a hard time about that. Looks like a bomb. All the hoses and shit coming out of it.
Yeah.
What is that? It's a CPAP machine. Are you sure? Yeah.
I think I had to go through security like 4 times in Narita on the way out.
That's because you just kept on saying, check my ass, check my ass.
Then that lady gave me a hard time because I wanted Japanese coins.
He wanted
You
his
find hard
change
time.
in Japanese coins.
I gave her a 20. I paid for a couple beers, gave her a 20, and she gave me American bills back. And I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, I want Japanese money. And she's like,
I'm not through that.
no can do.
really? You stupid American. And she made a big fuss about it.
But she gave it to me, no problem.
You look like the friendlier one or something.
That must be it.
Yeah.
I look friendly.
How the hell did I get
He
to
looks
play
like
with
the
her?
reasonable one. We'll work with him.
Oh, well, whatever. I got my coins.
So you did get some coins then?
I did, yeah.
I got Korean money. I actually went up to the exchange at the Korean airport because we were not expecting to go to Korea. But we got to that airport was so cool.
Yeah, that was a cool
There
airport.
was a robot running around. Like there's a robot running around the airport. So I got a picture with the robot, and I went to the exchange and exchanged like $25. He wanted some for his daughter. I wanted coins and paper money for both my kids. So I got like 10,000 yen up there, or Nuin, or whatever the hell it is there in Korea.
Yuan.
Money. I got 10,000 money.
I got 10,000 monies.
Monies.
I had a bowl of fish ball soup when I was there. It was
Yeah.
like $2. It was awesome.
Cost of living's like way down from here.
I don't know.
Well, the exchange rate was like outrageous.
Okay.
Like $1 was like 1,500.
Yeah, something weird
Korean.
like that.
Yeah.
I think like I bought a bottle of Korean whiskey. It was shaped like a little Buddha. That was like 65,000 yen or something like that. And I'm like, it turned out it was like $15.
$12.
Okay.
But if you have to have your passport with you to buy any booze.
Yeah. And then they seal it,
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Like the evidence tape over it.
and you're not allowed to open it until you get through customs. Like we were worried because we bought stuff in Narita, and then you have to check everything again. You have to pick up your check baggage, and then in Chicago,
Retrack it again.
and recheck it. And I'm like, oh man! And you're not allowed to open. You're not supposed to open nothing. But I opened my bags and threw my stuff in there. Fuck it.
There's, I don't know, customs is, some places really strict. Like, we walked into, what was it? Saipan there, and they had the dogs there. The first thing I do is I walk up and I start petting the dogs. No, you can't pet dogs. I know.
I know.
I just don't want you coming after me in my bag. Have a great day.
Yeah. Get out of here. Okay, if you say so.
Then
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
Went over, petted the dog, and, but yeah, they had like 4 dogs there. And we're like checking everybody coming into Saipan.
when we left, there was a dog checking the line as you went through. In Guam. That's where it was.
No, this was when we came into Saipan, they had the dogs.
Or maybe it was Saipan.
I think.
Chicago, not this time, but when we went to St. Croix, they had a dog there checking everybody that went through.
That Detroit layover sucked ass.
Oh, that was.
So did the Guam layover.
What? Well, see,
Detroit was like 14 hours, and Guam was like 12.
we had. Or 24.
We should have just.
We had 12 in Guam. I think we turned it into about 36.
Something like that. We came in, we flew in the afternoon.
Yeah, we were supposed to fly out at 7 o'clock the next morning. We never really went there, but anyway, it was my 21st birthday, and we decided we'd go out in the town a little bit, and
last thing I remember before going to bed is you calling somebody Ralph in the bathroom.
Ralph! Hey, you missed the good part. First off, one of the parts I remember is we ended up trying to sing karaoke to Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses in a bar, and it didn't go well, but it was a good time.
Directly after we tried singing it, though, like 6 of the locals brought us like all types of like.
Yeah, like everybody.
Oh, you guys are good!
Yeah, look at them!
Oh, Axl Rose!
Yeah.
And then we met there was a couple of locals that we kind of stepped around the building, and
his name started K. Ouch or something.
I know we were supposed to meet up with them again later. I don't think we ever did, but anyway, we walked around the corner, and they helped us out a little bit, and it was a good time. But I fell asleep probably 2 hours later.
All drugged up.
Nah, you skipped out on the part where you got kicked out of the pool. But
we did get kicked out. We went back, and we decided we're going to go swimming in the pool. Well, it's closed at like 10. Pool and hot tub. Anyway, we're in the hot tub. And you don't get a hot tub. I mean, trunks on. Nobody does that. He goes back up to the room to get some food because obviously he's hungry at this point. And I turn around, and there's security tapping me on the shoulder. I'm like, oh, nice. How you doing?
Oh, my God.
Like, could be here.
Hey, you. You need to get out of the pool now. Put pants on.
Pretty much. But anyway, I hustled back up there. And, yeah.
Entertaining. Guam's definitely a place I'd go again, too. We accidentally drove on the Air Force Base.
Oh, yeah, we drove on. We drove on to we got up to their security gate, but no big deal. They just said, oh, some dumbass tourists again, and we're like, just turn around and go the other way. But it all worked out. Definitely,
Guam.
I would rather go to Saipan over Guam, but Guam still, it's a nice island.
Guam's more of a tourist island. However, I will say this about the local restaurant, that shrimp shop we visited. I come back there and got their whole tequila setup or whatever. Like, they had a whole bunch, what do you call that? Like,
Flight?
Yeah, flight of tequilas. And the cook remembered us. Like, hey, you made a blast, and he came out, shook her hand, gave us a hug, and she was like, yeah, that's still kind of in Guam, but not as much. Saipan, everybody remembers.
Right, but even that was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we had been there maybe twice the first time we were there. Yeah, but anyway. And they remembered us when we came back the second time 3 weeks later. So that's saying something there.
When I flew out the first time, we had a 12-hour layover both ways in Narita. But when we got to Guam, like they were calling us, like,
where you guys at?
Yeah, your plane's leaving. So we were running. If you can imagine all this running.
On the way back, yeah.
Well, I kind of imagine it as like a brisk walk, but
no, it was a run. It was ugly, but it was a run. I might have knocked some kids out on the way.
Out of the way, crotch stain.
But we got out to the tarmac and got on the plane just before it took, like, we barely got our seat buckled and it took off.
And they were gone, yeah. Well, I think they said in Saipan they only had one flight in and out at, 7 in the morning?
Every other day.
Okay.
Yeah, every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
And it was 7 o'clock in the morning. What? It must have been
we were
Saturday and Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. Saturday and weekends they do it every day. Other than that, it's every other day because they didn't have my contact info. They just had my email, so they're sending me emails. We had no service. Finally get back to them in the afternoon, like, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow.
so it's interesting time. I just like the fact that when we walked in, Don's like, "Well, so how was the partying?"
Yeah, Don was like read it like a
We've
book.
never met this guy before.
Yeah, he knows.
He had an interesting story. I like hearing everybody's story, everybody's background, and he had some interesting stories. I got to talk with him the one night when we were, I think, at the rotating restaurant. We got to talk to him, and
I started asking him about his flying experiences and stuff, and he just went on for like the whole dinner time.
I could have listened to him all night.
Yeah. Wasn't one of those people that you talk to that's like, all right, stop talking. You know what I mean? Like, just, yeah.
And my finger swelled.
Why'd your finger swell? Well, I got this engineering from engineering school.
Yeah, just cut it off.
I could never cut it off.
Yeah. No, Don was
Sacrilege.
Yeah. Don was like a really humble guy.
Yeah.
Like, he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the other thing, like, he didn't mind telling somebody. Like, if he had a problem with you, he's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd come up, tell you what you were doing wrong, and
there was no bullshit.
I forget what his wife's name was, but I called her the wrong name. Like,
Rachel.
Yeah.
I called her something else for like 2 days. And she finally just said, "My name's Rachel." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm horrible with names. I did not forget hers again.
Yeah, they lived in Africa for years, he said.
Yeah.
Thought that was pretty interesting.
Lived in Africa. Didn't he transport planes for a while? Like, where he would deliver planes and then fly back?
Yeah, he said he would do like emergency deliveries for companies who needed like a certain kind of gasket for something.
Kidney.
Yeah, and he would fly it from Indiana to Jersey on an overnight flight. Charge them something
ridiculous.
Yeah. Like $3,000 for this gasket. No problem. We need 2 of them.
But so we had a lot of fun. We did there was a lot, besides all the fun we had, there was a lot of work that happened too.
Yeah.
And
knocked out 3 houses, I think.
Yeah,
3 or 4 houses total.
I mean, I think me and you had worked on 3 different ones.
Yeah.
And we worked on 2, but the second one we did was in bad condition.
It was really bad.
Didn't the second one, Don said FEMA wouldn't even allow some of the stuff he wanted to do, so we're just going to kind of push it through?
They visited that house, like 10 agencies had visited that house.
Yeah, we're like,
and nobody would touch it.
Yeah,
and Don said, "I can't walk away from it. We have to do something for him," which was cool. And kudos to him for stepping up and taking that project on, because like that when we got there, but that first day I walked in, I'm like,
yeah, I was like, this is fucking
really?
Really? Like, we spent probably like a good 3-4 days just cleaning everything out of the way, like the whole side of the house,
taking everything out across the street and laying it down.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember when we dropped you guys off the one morning, we had walked around, and it was, the back half of the house was just a mess.
Yeah.
The other thing, wasn't there a fence back there? Like,
there was a wall and a fence right behind it.
Yeah, you didn't have much room to work.
No.
Back to Don, like, going through with houses. So the one day when we decided we're going to stay another week, Don was like, "Hey, I want you to listen in an afternoon. He took me with him." We went to look at different houses, and he kind of told me what he does to say, "Hey, this house is doable, this and isn't." And he's like, and sometimes if I just feel it, like, this house needs done, he said, whether FEMA's not going to push it through or not, he'll still go through with it. So, like, I think he does some of that from time to time.
But good for him, because, like, these people needed help. Like, they needed it. And no one else was willing to step up because there was just so much involved in that project. But by the time old Ben came, we had that in a position where he could with the guys that came with him, the young kids, and they just ripped through that and got it done.
That guy was a blessing. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, and especially if you have people like old Ben there, that's what he's done for a living. Like, he can build a house from the ground up.
Yeah.
In his sleep. Well, not quite, but
see, that's what
I remember when I cut that I cut the piece of plywood and I thought it was 16 inches on center and it was like all off. And it was supposed to go underneath the trusses and or the rafters. And he's like, "Oh, I see what you did there." He's like, whips out his like little wooden ruler and he's like, and he just rattles off like these numbers. Cut this number, this number, this number, this number, and this number. You should be good. I was like, okay, and I caught him, and it fit perfect. I'm like,
yeah.
Like,
And
that's
all he
awesome.
did was glance at it and like, figure it out. But like, for every Harold and Irv, there's a Ben, there's you guys, and like that's what I like. Like I met on all the mission trips I've been on, I've always met people who like I just want to keep in contact with them because they're just cool as shit.
Yeah, I mean, you always meet somebody. It seems on a mission trip, you always meet at least one or two people that you want to get back to again.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Like Irv, like if I never see him again, I'm okay with that.
I am.
Harold, if I don't even hear his name, I'm okay with it. Like nobody named Harold can be in my life, and I'll be fine.
Harold.
You didn't have the luxury of driving to the work site with him the one day.
No, you were telling me about that.
Oh
dude.
my
It's just
God.
like the conceit.
The
that he
self-righteous
had.
prick
Yes.
that he is just annoying. Yeah.
He was like all but blowing Harold the whole way there. And he was talking about how great he was and
Such a great leader, natural leader, a
didn't
natural
he-
leader.
Didn't he say some people are born leaders, some people aren't? I was born a leader. It's like, shut
Really?
the
No
fuck
one
up.
wants to follow you, bro.
The
Because
first-
you're kind of a dick.
the first thing that rubbed me wrong, my first contact I had with him was at the hotel, and I had my bow case, but I only brought it because it's like super hard, and I wanted to bring shit back so it didn't get crushed. And he's like, "Oh, what are you going hunting for?" And I'm like, "Some wild boar." And he's like, "Yo, no, do you hunt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've been on a couple of hunts, some elk hunting." He's like, "Oh, have you ever shot anything?" I said, "No, not yet." And he goes, "Oh, you should see my trophy room. It's full of all kinds of stuff a real hunter would get." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
You
A
hunt in
little
a
bit of
gate.
fence hunting there, or yeah.
I've shot a couple small annoying people.
Well, he said most of the hunts he does are gated.
Yeah, but
So like your
it's
farm hunting, let's
yeah.
go. You guys want to head over to the dairy farm hunt for a couple cows? Like I'd be down. Like, you
Yeah.
should see my trophy room.
Yeah.
Though. Like
I got the best steak ever.
Yeah, my dad's got this farm. There's a bull there, it's pretty big horns, so we should probably go check it out.
Mount that fucker.
Yes, sir.
Now
That will look
the
great
testicles
over
with
here in the
tail
wall.
between.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. Yep, right behind you.
Big old pair of
It's
bull
a trophy
testicles
room
with
right
the
here.
tail hanging
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. I mean, you could do like a shoulder mount, hang the testicles like off the bottom there.
Yep.
Definitely. Just put it all out there.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. I gotta say, Herb's buddy though, Arnold.
Arnold was
Was
cool.
over Schwarzenegger sometimes, like just to fuck with him. He'd just sit there, grin, chuckle a little bit, and go right back to what he was doing.
I
It was a lot of fun.
every time I walk in, a Arnold?
You still have that picture of me with Herb's glasses
Yeah, I
on?
do. If I can find it, I'll throw it up.
Well, do you remember the
I
time
put
we
his
had,
hat and his glasses
Yeah.
on, I think.
remember the time we had the MDS truck and we found the two little buoys or whatever they were and tied them to the back of the truck? That,
Oh, and
AKA
Don
truck
goes,
nut.
yeah, Don goes nice balls.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember Arnold as we're walking out to the truck to go to work that morning. He just kind of looks at it, grins a little bit, and he's like, "All right." And then we go to work. But Don was the one that he's like nice balls, and then he made us take them off. But understandable. He's
I like the balls.
coordinator.
Take them off.
Oh,
We had a good time. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, all in all, like, when are we going back?
Yeah.
well, like I'd love to go. Like, I fell in love with the island, so I'd love to go back. But like, the airfare is killer.
Yeah.
So unless it was another FEMA trip, I don't know that I'll make it back there.
If somebody called me tomorrow and was like, "Hey, in 2 weeks from now, FEMA's going back over there,"
Oh, I put my name on the list.
I'd be right there. Like, you don't even have to ask me twice on that.
There's a couple more places that I want to scuba dive. Like,
Yeah.
and like that was Harold said, "You're scuba diving over the weekend." Like, isn't the weekend our time?
Yeah, we can do what we want.
And I'm like, yeah, I came with all my equipment. Like,
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go
I'm
scuba diving.
going scuba diving. Oh, well, there's so much to see. Yeah, underwater.
Or you, do you guys go to that church where it was open?
Yeah, we went there.
Okay.
We made sure we made the Sunday service so
Yeah.
nobody could frown on us.
I was just gonna say you skipped out on it.
I
Like,
skipped.
Don asked where you were at, and then Herb was like, "Yeah, he should have been there."
Yeah, I skipped out on it the one time. I think the next time, didn't we walk out like halfway through?
Yeah.
But we were there, so I guess it counted. then the one time, I think it was on a Sunday evening, we were supposed to have like a supper thing, and I just kind of skipped out. I had been out doing my own thing, and he bitched me out for that a little bit, but we got
Pretty
over
much,
it.
he had to have some type of organization.
Right.
Otherwise, he'd have been like, "Where's everybody at when it's time to go?"
Well, we told him that like that
Yeah.
one night. I said we're going to just pass on dinner because I don't want to hear about how much chicken I ate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't say that, but that's it was implied.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Don picked up on that. Like, he's not
Well,
dumb.
I said something to Don later on about it, about how Harold, just rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't want to have another meal with him. And he was leaving the next day, so
Yeah.
okay, like I don't have to hook up
Yeah.
with you guys. I'll sit at home and not eat. But do you still have your flag?
I do.
I have it hanging in my office.
It's in my garage.
I have it hanging in my
Yep.
office, right behind my desk.
Yeah. I found them later on Amazon, so you can actually buy one on Amazon if you guys get one. So yeah.
technically,
It's
that
probably not
doesn't count.
$70.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy soju at the liquor store.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody's ever really. Lewisburg will probably.
It's in the wine section.
That's the thing. I never really walk around the wine section.
I never do either. And I asked the lady, I said, where can I find this? She goes, oh, it's over here with the wines. I'm like, well, why would it be with the wines? Well, she said, well, technically it's a rice wine
Yeah.
or a potato wine. And I'm like,
They
oh,
said it's called Sell You.
so you.
Might have
Yeah.
to look. See if I can find some.
SOJU.
Here, I'm connected. I can.
Is it good just as is? Or do you guys make something make like a drink?
No, drink it just like that. Oh, no, I'm being tracked.
Duck, duck, go.
That was it.
Okay.
We had the pear was the best, I think.
The stuff that was made in Saipan was a little rough.
We had that too.
The purple sweet potato stuff.
A little hair in your chest. Wait, did they have a grapefruit?
I think so.
Yes.
I think my favorite was the raspberry.
What? The one night we were at the supermarket
Yeah.
at what was it?
Yeah.
The supermarket. Anyway,
Right down there on the square.
we bought the soju.
Should I always try this?
Yeah.
Joe Ten's Market.
Yep, that's
Joe
what it
Town.
was.
And wasn't there?
Yep.
There was a couple other stuff we tried there.
Oh yeah, we got a bunch.
Fridge was pretty good stock. Pretty well stocked.
Yeah, it was.
Well, weren't you guys cooking some stuff too?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I stopped at a local
He got that salmon.
Yeah,
Tuna.
that's what I thought.
Tuna,
I
yes.
tried a piece of
Same
that.
thing.
tuna. Yeah.
Fish.
Then I went up to Irvin Arnold and was like, "Hey, I got some fresh tuna. You guys want it?" And they're like, "No,
Dude,
we wouldn't know what to do with
The
that."
thing that annoyed me about that is I know you dropped a good penny on that, and he goes around and he offered it,
Yeah, just try it.
and nah.
Yeah. Especially Herb would have just been like, it's above my.
Yeah, you don't have a salad and a dessert with it, so I couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
I ended up giving it to Maria's husband.
Yeah.
And that's
Maria.
yeah. It was after we had that big meal. The guy had the like messed up face from the cancer.
He
Remember
drove, like,
him?
a newer Mazda 5.
That dude would show up every day and sweep up after we left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did what he could.
The first
Yeah.
house there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't
Can't
talk
remember what
much,
his
but you
name
could
was.
see a lot by his face.
Oh, we talked to him every day when he came in.
You couldn't really understand what he was saying. Though.
That's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, the first day he came in, I'm like, man, I wish I had my hearing aids because I can't distinguish anything what he's saying.
More of a mumble.
Yeah.
I got a picture of you climbing up for the coconuts too,
I do remember that.
and I got a picture of you on the freaking roof in a shirt and tie.
Yeah, I saw that picture. I think I have a picture of both of us.
Did you guys ever make it down to that beach?
Down? Yeah, we walked down the one time.
Remember we tried
We
to
were
drive
going.
down there?
We were at the next house.
We tried to drive down there.
Yeah,
and it
we
just,
tried it. We did walk
and it
down the one
closed
day
in and-
though, but it wasn't. It was supposed to be rocky. Remember, we ate lunch down there.
Yeah, it's pretty much like rocks and it just drops.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
there
really?
was no beach. Like it
Oh.
looked cool from up top. But
You
there
could
was,
fish from like maybe 2 spots if you walk down far enough, because one was just down along the rocks, like just pretty much gone.
yeah, it was just like dead coral or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
It was nice, but like there was no beach.
wow, that's different than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Well, we hiked out ahead, and it took them a good 20 minutes till they got down.
Right.
Like it wasn't just right behind the house. Like it looked like it's right behind the house, but you had to walk down through. There's a banana grove on the one side.
I wonder if the old MDS truck still lives.
I don't know. I was surprised it was there when
Right.
when you guys were there.
That thing is still do a brake stand. You can lock it up and spin the one back wheel, one tire per
You
hour.
can sing a back wheel.
Yeah.
Hey, spinning a back wheel is better than no wheels.
Yeah. What you have when you ride that?
Pretty much, but yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's so far. Holy shit.
How long have we been talking?
Hour and a
Hour
half.
and a half almost.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I was
Not
gonna-
quite, because we got like
Yeah.
6 minutes, 5 minutes before.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you have your photos of the trip on the computer?
On this computer?
Yeah.
If I'm connected, I can go to Google Photos.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'll pull up a bunch of memories. Holy crap.
Yeah, probably better not do that, but No, it should
Definitely
be
being
good.
on the roof was really cool.
Yeah.
To see a really good view from up there.
And honestly, like, of all the houses we worked at, I think the first one would have probably been the one I would have liked to live at the most. Or it was the nicest location, I thought.
Yeah, I think that had probably the most potential.
Right.
Because like nothing was rotted out on it really. Like the second house, even though you're putting new shit in there, like there was some stuff you could just like
It was still half rotted,
yeah.
They know the second house we had been at.
There's one right there.
Yeah, we can't. That's the one we don't show.
Why?
Wait. Oh, wait.
Why can't you show that one?
This one?
Yeah.
That's the extra. Those were stuff that I said I would not post.
Why?
I told Ben that there's those with beer cans and stuff like that.
Oh.
Like for this, it doesn't matter, but
Yeah. You're not putting them on Facebook. Remember when we were
Who's
up
that
in-
guy right there?
Remember when we were up in the roof? Hey, you, John.
That's me.
Cold punch.
Is that a
Beautiful.
paper straw and plastic? Or?
it was a paper straw.
Is that from the hotel roof?
Yeah.
Or your room? Okay.
This is from the room. And where's the house is over here.
It's right. No.
This one.
Yeah, the
You can
This
see
is-
the chart from the roof.
This is when we first got there. That wasn't even on our radar yet, that house. Because I have a picture later when we have the... I don't know why these are all out of order. That's the Korea airport.
What do you guys think of the Chicago airport? That's the first time I ever boarded.
Oh, I've been there
Okay.
probably
That's
20
pretty
times.
unique as well.
Yeah. Detroit was cool because they had that train going through it. Like a monorail going through.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Oh, that was
I
the
thought
Krispy
this-
Kreme.
The South Korea airport. Oh, the flight attendants are so hot.
It's Krispy Kreme donuts in Korea airport.
dude, that's like the first thing we noticed when we got off Tokyo. Like, they were all short.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, everybody had a mask on. This is back before the Rona, obviously.
Oh, really?
Everybody had a mask, like Asian, Korean type, not stereotyping
Huh.
anybody, but they had like a lot of them had masks.
I don't remember
what I
anybody
was
with a
getting
mask
at,
in
like, they
Korea.
all looked good up until, I don't know, maybe
30.
30 or 40, and then they just looked really old.
There's the truck.
Yep, there she is.
Oh, yeah.
Harold? Is that Harold in there?
That
Gonna suck up the AC, a
kind
bastard.
of looks like Harold.
That truck didn't have these.
There's her Kona.
Yeah,
Me, me.
that's it.
There's Harold's truck.
Yeah,
Right.
that was a what? FEMA?
How
You
much
see,
is
you
it?
don't understand. I need a real big truck with good AC.
I got a
Right,
picture
you
of
know,
Harold
what
sitting
truck
down on
stuff?
that army roof frame thing there.
How it reminds you of like the short, grumpy minion.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's the ladder I moved 65 times.
64, actually. But
That was Arnold.
Why did we do this in the beginning?
I don't know.
You idiot!
Idiot.
Look at that beautiful palm trees.
That was the one when we put a new roof on that because that was gone.
yeah, that was the.
God damn, so many freaking hurricane straps.
There was one.
There's one there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that house, when I think of this one, I think of like intense heat. By the time we got to the second one, I was kind of used to it.
Yeah.
I didn't really.
The first 3 days, I work in a controlled office, 70 degrees year round. The first day we get there, I thought I was going to die. Because I thought passed out on the roof. The second day wasn't so bad. I started drinking more water. I think the one
Yeah,
day,
like the first couple hours were the worst, and then after a while, you kind of got used to it, and you just didn't move quite as fast.
I was alright till the second week, till we got to the second house. And I could not. I couldn't do it. I was just,
Look at John eyeballing him.
John's like, look at him, mate. Good looking guy.
I was always saying shit to him too. Like, and he would just look at me.
The fuck out of him. Like, I think some of the shit you said to him, he had no idea what to say back because he just sits there and look at it and you go,
I took a picture like every 3 minutes while we were in that restaurant.
What did I
So
say?
I got the whole 100 or 360 degree.
I said something to Harold too his last day there about him being short. It's like, well, I guess you don't need to sit in the back of the row here, buddy. Or you don't need to kneel down. You just stand in front of all of us. Now, what's that supposed to mean?
that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I noticed. Like the water there was super clear.
Yeah.
Like you could see everything.
Get ready for Harlan on the hood.
Wait for it.
I don't know. They're all out of order. I don't know why. That's Tinian over there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure I could swim over.
Are these photos going to show up on the film?
I could put them up. You know what? I'll probably run that time lapse video that I took when we went up the
Put
top of
that
Chow.
up there, yeah.
Yeah.
See that picture wasn't there. I don't know why.
There's our chicken.
There's our chicken.
The whole chicken.
That's not a whole. That's like a.
That's like 7 wings.
Yeah.
Well, no, I got one was a spicy hot and one was a horseradish.
Okay.
So they made it one order. You got a half and half.
Right.
That was some of the best chicken.
That
I
was
ever had.
John's.
Yeah.
That's John's whole chicken.
That wasn't me. I didn't have that.
Yeah, he did.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah.
I had the white chicken. That was yours.
Okay, that guy. You got.
You
the
had
half and
you had the gay chicken with the greens on top.
half. Okay.
After you put the new windows in. Dude, he got custom glass cut for the piece inside the door and everything.
Where the hell do you go to get custom glass cut? Saipan.
The one shop there, he'd been there before, I guess.
He must have, yeah, because that's not.
John knew his way around. Like, he knew everybody somehow.
There we go. We got Arnold over here.
Yep, that's the chicken place.
Oh look, they're right across from each other.
Looks like
He's
Colonel.
a younger version of
He
him.
looks like Colonel Sanders.
He kind of does.
Like, he does, but I think if you could definitely. make
Everybody
him up
else
for
with
that
their half
level.
chickens. There's the Korean restaurant.
Oh, they cooked it right in front of you?
You cooked it. They brought everything out to you. You cooked it. That's how you got your meat and your dog meat and threw it up on there.
Dog meat and onions.
What are that, pierogies?
Alright,
No, they were dumplings. There's the shirt and tie.
There it is. Yep, right there.
That was the shit, bro.
Wearing sweatpants.
How did you not die?
Yeah, wasn't
Actually,
that after we were
there's-
wearing
there's a
sleeveless
dude.
shirts?
They didn't
Yeah.
have a thing
Yeah.
against sleeveless shirts. They just said we can't wear shirts without, we can't go without shirts.
Right.
And then,
And then-
Don told
Wait,
me
he-
after I leave, I'm not responsible for what you guys do.
He told me I had to put sleeves on.
Oh, okay.
He said I was not supposed to be sleeveless. I'm like, okay.
Well, we found out that when we
Yeah,
started wearing those other shirts,
The long sleeve shirts,
they helped out.
it was actually much better.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like the sun soaked right through you.
Yeah.
Right, but wasn't the shirt and tie, if I remember correctly, kind of a like, oh,
Kind of pointed at that.
yeah, like, hey there, I guess you said this works, so, you know.
This was the best day ever. When it rained,
I remember that day.
You were
Oh.
literally standing out in the rain, just like not doing a thing, just sitting there looking up at the sky.
You were like, what kind of tin do you guys need up there?
Yeah.
Because we're in go mode.
yeah, because like that's how I can work normally. Like,
Yeah.
but when the heat hits me, it's just like
It wipes everybody.
that was down at the beach.
I think we've
Yeah.
John, Mike, Don, his wife, and then Arlen and Irv, Arnold. Okay. Wasn't there more people? Where's the, this is the first week.
That
This
was
is
the
first-
second week. We
That was
got,
the first week you guys were there. Our second week.
Yeah,
There was Tom and
great.
we got
Grace.
Tom and Grace, and then the Canadians, they showed up. This was the third week we were there, I think.
The
That was a
Canadians
good
were-
night.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good night.
That's when we got smart with the shirts.
Yeah. But at some point there should
Wait,
be...
go back one. Go back one. He zoom in. He see Harold in the truck.
Yeah, he's on the
probably
phone.
in there.
AC crank, just hanging out, nothing doing.
Do you think he was actually talking to somebody on the phone, or
No.
that was just his way to like...
That was just his way of not doing anything. I'm the boss. I don't have to work.
Yeah. I want to know what he did in his previous life. Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
he
know what
was
his
the
job
manager
was.
of a store bigger than
Oh,
Walmart.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the store bigger than Walmart. Which was it? I never heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard
Yeah.
the store name. I didn't really push the
MacArthur's.
Is that what it was?
No.
call McDonald's, they're bigger than Walmart.
What do you mean, a bigger joke, or?
Yeah. I got a piece of work.
There he is.
There it is.
On both of them.
Yeah, that was a lot of work for like 2 coconuts, but
But it was worth it.
totally.
That roof looks good.
Did we end up making
Of course it
mugs
looks
out of the
good, like-
coconuts? Hey,
Good Tapa Chow.
yeah.
There's heavy breathing, John.
Well, I can't do it as well.
There's a lot of land up top by Tapa Chow where I think it's completely undeveloped. Like, can you imagine
Just a
putting
drone.
a little house
yeah.
in there and having a dirt bike? It's that geek.
Not sure, kind of the flower shirt. He's probably a tourist,
Probably.
maybe Chinese.
Obviously.
I always like that picture.
Yeah, it was a good view from up there. Like, kind of gave you an idea of a sense of how small the island actually was.
No, and the other batch of pictures is when I was taking pictures of that girl when she was walking up.
Which one?
The Chinese tourists, don't you remember that? As they're walking up.
There's a
he's
lot of
just
that.
Yeah, I like that picture. The thinker.
Yeah, back on the car. That's for rental.
What's a rental? Like, you can't.
That's what we say every time.
Well, yeah. That's how we justify a lot of dumb shit we do, but it's okay, though.
But you notice, if you're ever going to buy a vehicle, don't buy one from Enterprise.
What was the other one? Hertz. Don't buy one from them.
What did we do that?
That
That
was
one
the-
came back with bald tires. My bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even kidding you. Like, we
Like,
had to stop
legit.
beside the road, borrow some gentleman's knife so we could cut off one of the cords on the tires because it's that.
Yeah, it was like whipping
my
around and
God.
like hitting the fender
Scratching
well.
up the side. It took the inside of the
Yeah.
fender well out.
It's amazing what you can fix with duct tape and zip ties, which we didn't. Not
This
on that
was
one,
the
but-
Japanese base camp or HQ.
What I found really unique about the Japanese equipment was a lot smaller and more compact. Everything they had, kind of, I thought.
I mean, America, so
Go big or go home.
I think they were running out of a lot of resources too. It's like their Arisaka rifle, like towards the end, it didn't even have sights on it, and it was, I think it was like missing a whole bunch of shit. It was like very crude.
yeah.
But,
It was basically point and shoot.
Yeah,
Pointing in the general direction.
Just John said, I can fix that.
A little bit of duct tape. That's actually where we were out with the truck. Go back one, wasn't it?
No,
That's Suicide Cliff. Or Bonsai
Oh,
Cliff.
never mind.
no, that's
Yeah.
not it.
Nope.
I mean, it looked very similar to that, but where we were, there was like a little bunker there, right down by the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They literally had square holes cut out in the stone.
could you imagine if you would have drove that truck off the cliff into the water? Could you imagine explaining that one?
and not really. I would rather not, but I can see
think I
that
would have
happening.
just went with somebody took the truck.
It got stolen. Well, no, that wouldn't work there. The island's not
Too
big
small.
enough to.
Yeah. Where'd you find the truck? Outside of Bonsai Cliff.
That's Suicide Cliff up
Yeah,
there.
the other thing I like the fact that like you could see the holes in the side of the cliff yet
Yeah,
from.
You guys go swimming there?
I
Yeah,
went
was
down there.
I did the last time I was. I didn't go down. I didn't walk down all those steps this time.
This is a good time, but the one when we were in there with like a couple of the Canadians, it washed us around that rock in the center. I'm like, yeah, not with the, it was a little turbulent, but it was right after the typhoon.
I was in there the one afternoon where I had the car myself. I actually went in there after hours with 2 of the locals that I met there. They were like, yeah, we're going down here. I'm like, sure.
No, why not?
remember what those
Yeah.
are called?
No.
The lattes.
Yeah, that's a latte.
Wait, what?
And they
Yeah,
always
That
had,
building's called a latte.
No, the pillars are called lattes.
Is it built by Starbucks?
Yes.
Perfect.
they
And it-
always have the pillars in those, don't they? Or something like that.
or a form of them. They don't always
Yeah.
look like that. That it was like they're really strong, and I guess they help
That was
keep
the
like rats and shit out of there.
Chinese cave or whatever?
Yeah.
Or not, whatever.
I
it
kept
was.
on making a noise. There's people coming
Yeah.
up. They're like,
Chupacabra.
Was that the road that leads down to the recycle plant or like the waste plant?
I don't know if we went all the way down the road. I think we turned around.
Well, the waste plant, that road, that's where we had going down the truck.
It goes downhill for a while and then it drops off.
Past the
There we
cows.
go. There's
Oh, yes, sir.
These girls were standing there doing some kind of anime, like, art, kicking their legs, and he was up. He goes, "Take my picture."
I mean, what else is new?
Sunset Hard Hands. That's up on Suicide Cliff. Well, that's a dump down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
why
that
did
what that
you,
was?
We ended up going to
God,
the
there's
left
like
of that and
nothing
then down.
there.
Yeah, we were probably, I'd say, right there, about over. Yep.
There's roads down there and shit.
It's kind of a trail.
Well,
They were after they were done.
Yeah.
there is a road now.
The beast.
Yeah, I drive and Harlan sat up on the roof looking for like another place to turn.
Yeah. And literally, I was riding on the roof probably half the way back until we were outside of like the town there. I know it wasn't quite that far.
A cop passed us one place and like shook her finger at us.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, that's what I like about
That's
it.
awesome.
Like,
They're like, yeah. Whatever.
everybody's so lenient. Like,
Yeah.
all right, knock
And
your
the other
shit
thing
out.
I think that helped is the fact that the truck had MDS stickers on it. Like,
MDS, we do what we want, motherfucker.
we're above the law. And I just sound like Harold.
There it is. There's the tuna. Look how freaking fresh that is.
Yeah.
I think the guy told me he's like, oh, you could eat that as sashimi. We did like raw.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
good-
the open
I'm
air
good on
church.
that.
No, yeah.
That was unique. That was nice. I think so. If we did it in Pennsylvania right now, nobody's probably
Kidding me? I'd be front row.
open air and 2 degrees.
You betcha.
Jesus Christ.
Who's that fat bastard? Oh, that's John. There's an
Yeah.
empty water bottle because we weren't allowed any more water.
You just drink your own urine.
Yeah, pretty. Like, why did he care how much
Because the
water you
water's
guys were using?
expensive.
The guy was just a stickler on every count.
Yeah.
you could drink right there. Get a drink right there.
Yeah, but then he wanted to use her water faucet out back.
Yeah.
And they get charged for that.
Yeah. All right, now I'm hungry.
And with that, we'll wrap up. That was the termites.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was horrible. Didn't you guys knock that out or just frame
We
it
took
over?
that out, yeah. They didn't want us to take it out. They want us to build right over it. I'm like, I can't build right over that.
So was that the back wall or the center wall?
That was in
there?
the middle. That's one of the bedrooms.
That was one of the
Okay.
support walls, wasn't
Yeah.
it? For like the
Yeah, so
roof.
yeah, you pretty much tore the center walls out completely there.
There he is.
Tom and Grace.
Tom and Grace.
Yeah, Tom, right at first I did not know quite how to take him, but
He was cool.
he was
I
a
liked
nice
him.
guy.
Took me a day or two. So I kind of got, well, I mean, this does anybody.
Like right at first I wasn't sure if he was gay or not, but that's just rude. I'm sorry. I hope he doesn't listen to this, but
I'm probably sure he's not. All those joist hangers. 10 nails in each one.
hmm
Thank God for the palm nailers.
Yeah, without them, I don't know what we would have done.
What did you guys get done today? Well, we hung 8 pearls. Isn't that what it's called? I think it's
Per-
proper term.
Something like that.
Yeah, Perlin.
There it
Yeah,
is.
from the hotel.
Yep.
Did you guys eat any of that?
Is that the
I-
one you weren't supposed to eat?
No. When I was in St. Croix, a lady, we were doing her house, and it was an older lady, Dutch, and all we did was tarp her roof for her. And we weren't supposed to do it, but the guy said, I can't leave that roof like that. And she was just so happy that we tarped her roof. She made us Johnny cakes. She made us some fresh iced tea, and she brought one of these out. And she called it a sweet apple. But you take that outside thing off, you take it off, and each one of those chunks has a seed in it. But you just take the whole thing, put it in, and just spit the seed out. Oh my God! And I don't like fruit, but that was nice and sweet and good and yummy.
See, I don't think I had any of that. Was that the first week you guys were there? Or?
No, this is right before we left, I think.
Okay.
Geico has their emblem.
That's when we were eating at the beach.
Yeah, remember we were pointing out they only had like every other one or something?
Yeah.
Hey guys, they don't have enough apparel.
Yeah, like, look at that. They're gonna... Yo, that's a strong roof.
It is. We were both up there. I was so happy we got that front part of that and that back part of the roof done before we left.
Yeah, we decided to keep going when it started raining.
Weren't you gonna fly your drone over that and get a video of that before you left? And then we ended up sleeping in.
I think so, yeah. I didn't get a close video. I got a video like from farther away, but it's running out of battery. I was gonna do it the next day, and yeah, it didn't happen.
This is when we're on the roof.
Wasn't that when Dennis came up? We were
Yeah.
up there having
Oh,
refreshments?
yeah.
Hey, how'd you cats get up here?
Like,
Yeah.
go away.
All you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah.
There's the Hummer you guys were going to steal.
Definitely thought of that.
Oh yeah, I to this day still want a Hummer just because. I don't know what I'd do with one, but it would be
Honestly,
awesome.
I think it'd end my road rage.
Yeah, I don't
It
Or
know.
make it worse.
No, somebody cuts me off, you just run them over. You have a Hummer. Can't do anything.
Well, they can run away from you because your Hummer goes about 45.
Get a twin turbo diesel.
Yeah, true. Then you need some. Yeah. Anyway.
This was our night out.
Yeah, Hooker Alley.
Yeah, but I will say though, like right down from the hotel to the left, that little restaurant.
That's it.
It was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Right
the one down by the beach.
They had a fish steak.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was
yeah.
a really good place.
Now, since these will never air, I can go to the ones that with the extras. I don't know why some of these were put on the back burner. Oh, beer can.
Wait, that's the Saipan bottle? Did you bring that back or not?
I did not bring it back.
You should have.
Oh, no.
That's a good one.
That would have been great up there.
Yeah, for the
Well, here's the thing. I guess we have to go back so we can get some.
Yeah.
Yep.
Saipan. Well, actually, when I went there the first time, I found out there was a Saipan brewing because we were at Joe Ten's Market, and I saw the.
yeah.
That's why that's on the extra reel.
I mean, I definitely would have took that photo twice.
So I went on Facebook, found them, contacted them. I actually went down to their brewery and did like a little tour. They gave me a taste of every single beer they'd made for the last 18 months.
Wow. That's awesome. That's a nice Mustang. You guys see that in the
very
back?
nice car. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a Porsche.
Yeah?
That's a Porsche.
2 Mustangs and a porch.
And a Porsche.
Good looking porch, though. I mean, definitely.
I would definitely mount that.
There's John with this with her stuff on. Hey, Mike.
I think the worst, like, time the A thing annoyed me is when he sent me on A Harlan. I'm not paying attention to it because I thought he was calling Harlan. And a little bit later, A Harlan? Nothing. Finally, I turned around and I'm like, I'm Ben. Like, what do you want? He's like, oh. I was like,
That's what Pablo said. His name is Ben.
yeah.
This is the first time I was there.
So, what would you say you enjoyed more the second time than the first time, or vice versa?
I mean, our company.
Yeah, other than that.
Well, I like the fact that we got a freaking hotel room.
Yeah, well, yeah. The sleeping arrangements were 1,000 times better the second time because I stayed on a mattress in a musty old house that had been for sale for 2 years.
Yeah. We definitely could not complain about the
Right,
No.
yeah, they had.
And the food was better, obviously,
Yeah.
and some of the company.
Maybe.
Like the kids that were there the first time, they were great kids. Like they're all college kids from Mississippi. There was a guy that was with them that I didn't care for, but I had been. He was in Alaska as well when we were up in Alaska, and so this guy here, and my wife's uncle and me all rode in that little accent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a bit tight.
The first time the work was different. So like I liked the work the first time because we built basically they had the walls up and we did everything. We did the whole house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The second time we were roofs is what we were doing.
Yeah,
was
that's
roofs.
pretty much all we did. Like, we were specifically there for roofs.
Whoa, you were a lot thinner back then.
This is right after I lost weight, I think. This is Tank Beach. This was all washed away when we went there this time.
Oh, wow.
Like this lady had been here and she was selling coconuts and stuff to the locals. We'd go down here every day at lunch and we just sit in the water to try to cool off.
Okay, that part would have definitely been. Like, you pulled us up.
Yeah.
Tank Beach was the beach we drove along to get back to the cliff.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the beach on, like, the opposite side of the island we would have been on. Yeah. Yeah, we weren't down there much.
Yeah, we went down there every day. Had lunch there. He's actually a school teacher in Virginia. Saipan Brewer.
Is this no, that was the St. Croix one. You took that idiot with you?
Yeah.
I don't wanna hear
This
about
guy
that.
here, this is the guy that I could do without. All he did was talk. He didn't do any work. He'd
So
walk
then
up,
just-
he'd talk to someone, he'd get in the car, go to another site, talk to him. He didn't do any work, and it was just annoying. And then he'd say how much you didn't get done.
Is he like a coordinator or something?
He
or?
thought he was.
Oh, okay.
He was not. That's the first house we did.
Wow.
This is the tent they put up for him to live in. They didn't live in that. They lived in a little shanty over here.
That tent's even worse than the ones we see.
But this is actually if you on my front door when you go out.
Yeah.
That's still standing there. She made that because it was so hot the one day, and I was almost dying. And she sat in her little shanty, and she made one of those for everybody on the job site. A little fan.
See, and honestly, it's the small things like that that I enjoy the most about doing this kind of stuff. Like,
like she didn't have to do that. Of course, I had to find their jail while we were there.
Like they have a jail there?
Yeah. Do you remember when what was the guy's name?
You guys showed us the jail.
He got pulled over. Remember when he got pulled over? The guy who was our leader.
Don?
Don got pulled over. He kind of did a U-E in the road. He got pulled over right in front of jail.
Okay.
And now when we were going up to Tapachow is where their community service, like chain gang, like what I do, they were up there doing work up there.
Okay. Didn't they have like a fire station up top too and a bunch of other stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you pointing out the community service thing on the way up, like the first week or something we were there.
This was that open air market, which they did the first time. I guess they still do that.
Yeah.
That's something they do every time.
No, we went there
every Thursday.
I think we went there every Thursday. They had it. Well, except the one Thursday, the weather wasn't the greatest, but
we ended up just hanging out at the hotel, and then they gave us, that's something me think.
Yeah. Well, the one night, everybody, was that the night we all went down to Don and Rachel's room there? Everybody kind of brought something.
Yeah, that was the time what was that older Canadian guy that was a counselor?
I know which one you mean. I can't think of his name.
Super nice guy.
Yeah,
these were the
nice
kids.
Guy.
It was Jake, Mallory, and Mary Grace. But I took those kids everywhere when we were there.
Right. And that's another thing.
This is the house we stayed in.
Okay.
That's not too bad though.
But there was nothing in it.
It was
no
empty.
furniture, no nothing.
Yeah. I like the layout. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
That was some of the tile work we did. Yeah, that Jake, he was like Juan. He didn't know much, but he wanted to learn,
right?
And he wanted to do stuff. Like
he could work,
and he would work.
And really, on something like that, that's all it takes.
If you have one person that kind of knows what's going on,
that was the guy who was our leader, like Don.
Yeah.
That was his wife, and she was so quiet and mousy and meek. And she worked with us at this house for like 5 days, and he let loose. She was so cool. But when she first got there, she wouldn't talk to anybody. She was very quiet.
Yeah.
This lady was still there when we were there. She worked for one of the agents, the Care. She worked for Care on the island. That's my electrical work.
Well, I mean,
what was the one?
5 out of 10, maybe a good day.
It
would probably work.
That stuff wasn't found yet. That was just hanging.
Yeah.
What was the lady's name that was with FEMA that we talked to?
Oh, I don't even remember.
She walked through and Harlan, and Juan's like, "Hey, I was up here."
Yeah, well, basically, that's kind of how it happened. He's like, I've seen that. Hey, I mean, that sounds pretty normal to me. I don't know, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up, go back.
You? Oh, yeah.
You just had the goatee.
That's all I just did goatee.
Yeah. That's the younger version of you, what, 6 years ago? 5 years ago?
It was 2 years before we went.
Okay.
It's probably like 3, 4, yeah.
Some of these pictures are same place, same stuff. But I took like 900 pictures when we were there. Like literally, there's 900 pictures in this folder.
Wow. Now, if I do go back, one thing I'm going to do that I did not do last time, first day I get there, I'm going to walk across the street and buy a cheap bicycle.
I think I just get a rental at the airport.
Well, they thought about that, but like that'll add up after a while.
3 weeks, 25, 35. Yeah.
Here's when we went down to the grotto.
Yeah.
I think I'll get a wife next time I go back.
Probably.
I had this
goes up for
picture.
$200-300.
Right.
Actually, you find a local and you inherit a house, right?
But you don't. They inherit a house. You just get to live.
You can't own it.
Yeah, you can never own the
Right.
house. Yeah.
This picture I have up on Google Maps. There's like 90,000 views of this picture.
Wow. That's a beautiful picture.
That's Bird Island. This picture's up too, but it has one view.
What's the other island?
The other island was Forbidden Island. And that picture never made it to my reel. I deleted it. The chick standing on the rail.
Oh.
The connection is slow now. Some of these pictures were put up by this Christopher Russ. He's the teacher in Virginia. Like I shared this folder with everybody who went.
Yeah.
That was actually the first night we got there. We all went down to our restaurant, sat down, and got to know each other.
That's still one of my, same pose as last time.
Yep. And really, if there's a submerged tank, like out there, you're always going to swim out to it, no matter how many times you go.
Yeah.
This was the last house. This guy was we went and looked at this house, and we started doing the work. I started running electric. I put the panel up. I did, and so this was close to our last day when we went and did this house, and he was so worried that we wouldn't be there Monday. I said, I promise you something, because I guess a contractor had taken all his money and just disappeared, and he did. The whole roof had to be taken off and redone, and that's what he had there. Like, there's no way that was holding anything.
Yeah, that's like plywood.
And he was so worried that we were gonna not come back, and I said, I promise you, somebody will be back. That was the family that we did the house from the ground up. And this lady ran that shack down there, and she actually had a picnic for us the day before we left.
That's awesome. This is another we've seen a lot of those.
These are gone now. This is what was washed away by the second storm. This is down on Tank Beach. They're gone.
We've seen a lot of those down the other side of Suicide Cliff, down on that beach, like a bunch of rocks. We were messing around there.
And that was what was down. It was like for sure one of those down when we took the truck down through there.
If you get up close on that, they took the coral and they mixed it with concrete and they made these bunkers.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It looks like the natural coral structure, and it was.
Okay.
Yeah, we always signed the inside of the house. Faye, that was that lady's name, Faye.
I signed the inside of that other one, the second house we were on.
My son, when he did his Eagle project, all the boys signed the concrete underneath the flooring that he put on.
Okay.
Everybody's name who came and helped him.
Yeah.
FBI guys.
We went out on this cruise. It was like a dinner cruise, and these kids got so wasted. Like all your booze and your food all came with the cruise.
Yeah.
So I was drinking my little scotch, and they were just, free booze.
Somebody said free booze. I mean, I'm pretty sure I had the same video.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll play.
So were the MDS coordinators along, or is that?
Yes, they were.
How did that go down?
It was all right. They were cool about it.
Yeah. See, that's the biggest difference. Like, you get a group of coordinators where they're willing to work with you guys. Like, they're like, you're here for a good cause. Do what you guys need to do.
That was the leader.
I got you.
Don't remember his name, but he's from Lancaster.
Okay.
And the one girl that you don't see her in any of the pictures because she was the most antisocial chick in the world. She was just nasty and mean to everybody. Like, we got food, at the house, there was a refrigerator, so we got food. We went to the Joe Tens, their Sam's Club, and we bought big things of food and put it in there for us. It was me, Chris, and my wife's Uncle Dave. And now we had told a couple people in the house, look, if you want to help yourself, but we didn't tell them that.
Right.
But they would just go in and eat it and leave it empty. Like, they would eat the last stuff out of the box and leave it empty.
And just leave the box in the fridge.
And I'm like, what kind of people do that? But you don't see them in any of these pictures because they just...
Go back to. Did you guys swim out to that island at all?
That's Mahananga.
Okay.
I went out there. That's when I went out to scuba dive. And it was the first time I ever scuba dived when I was out there. That's where I said they charge you $5 a wreck island.
Oh, wow.
So when I got out there was a storm coming in. It was a tail end of a typhoon that was hitting the Philippines. And when I went down in the water, you could see the rain on the surface. I didn't think nothing of it. They evacuated the island while I was underwater. And I didn't know. And I came out, because you scuba dive, you're down for about 45 minutes, an hour, whatever. I come out, and if you can imagine, I'm in a wetsuit. It was a shorty, so it was shorts. I'm in this wetsuit. My pack, my goggles are down around my neck. I'm walking out of the water with the flippers, looking like Godzilla. Oriental people are just scattered everywhere trying to get off the island. Yeah. The last ferry had left, so only people with private boats could come out and get anybody. And it just it looked like Godzilla with Oriental people running away from him. And in fact, that's the dive master. He said, he goes, "Oh my God, you look like Godzilla coming out the water." I'm like, oh my God. So like we didn't know how we were going to get back because the ferry had left.
Yeah.
But we took a private boat out. We paid them to do us both ways, and then gave them a good
I
tip.
bet you did.
Yeah, we did. And the dive master said, "Look, if you pay them, they will be back. If you have their number, because if they don't come back and you badmouth them, they lose business. That's how they eat."
Yeah.
So we called the guy. He says, "I'll be right there." Came out, and the security people tried to tell him, no, you can't. Just pulled up. He goes, "Get in." Like he didn't care. He'd rather pay the fine than lose business. So a Korean couple with their little girl had gotten on the boat, and I guess the guy had back problems. So every time the boat would hit the water, the guy would like screech in pain, and he's holding his daughter. And I look at him like, "Give her to me. Like I'll protect her." So he understood what I was saying. The mom was like, and I'm like, so I'm holding her. I protected her all the way in, and it's every time this would hit, this guy would scream. So we got over there. I helped him out of the boat. I lifted the little girl out to the mom, and I go, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh, whatever you said." But it was
He just like
the funny thing is when we got on the boat to go out to the island
John.
in the first place. So yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what
I was waiting for that whole podcast where like you have the level here and John's just like, and you're like,
When we went out, I told him I had to be out there by like 9 for the scuba diving. He kicked 2 people off the boat. You get out. I don't want to kick someone off the boat. I said, no, we'll get you out. So they can take the next one. They're waiting for someone anyway. Or they are now.
yeah.
But yeah, it was that's a cool little. It's not much there. Nice swimming area. There's a little like.
We tried paddleboarding out to it, and about halfway out, we're like,
yeah, we got about. Well, I'd like to say halfway. It probably wasn't even quite
that
halfway.
looks deceivingly far.
It's farther than you think.
all right, we get out there and we're paddling for a while, and we look up, and it still looks the same.
Yeah, like
It's nearly a mile. It's almost as far as
It's got to
Tinian.
be at least,
yeah. I guess a mile on a paddleboard is a long way.
Whatever this brown gravy is that they put on their chicken, oh my god, it's good. This is when we went. We went out to the island of scuba dive in the morning, and we went to the other side of the island.
Navy SEAL, you got your face blocked out?
We can't show that. And I blocked out my tattoo so you can't identify me. This was she's a Japanese girl.
Is that John's wife or?
She could have been. This was the first time, like she had just gotten her dive master, and we were the first people she took out as a dive master, which was cool. She spoke no English, but underwater you don't have to talk, so it's all hand signals.
Right. See, that would have been great. She would have been all hand signals. You would have never been bitching at each other.
Shut up.
Yeah, I was a Japanese tourist underwater too, with a camera.
The GoPro got some pretty good shots though.
Well, I rented a GoPro to do this, and he had a GoPro. The guy who took us down, and now this guy he's a master diver as well. He went along with me in the morning just to get time in the water. In the afternoon, even though I can only go like 30 feet, he said, "I don't care. It's just time in the water." And I know how he feels now because I'm certified, and I can't wait until it's warm enough to go diving.
Jeremy, one of my friends, just got his diving certification, whatever. He went down to Florida to do that.
This was our whole group. Good bunch. Most of them were from Mississippi, and then there was us from Pennsylvania. Me, Chris, Dave, and he was from Virginia. We had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. How many people were in your group that time? Or definitely looks like there were a few more.
I think it was like 12.
Okay.
This is right before we left.
That's always the worst part.
Yeah. This is when we went through the American History Museum down there. See, that's how far the hotel was when we were there. Now, this part was done when we went back, when we were there with you guys. But
they say that one's been going for years.
Well, there was all kinds of, they weren't paying the workers and all kinds of other stuff going on.
And yeah, supposedly there was like a couple accidents that never got reported and whatnot. Like
there was some hinky stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've seen all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I wish we would have done a little more. I mean, I wish we would have got into like the history side of things a little bit more. We saw a lot of sites, but
you didn't really know the background.
Yeah, I didn't really know any of the background. Like it would have been interesting.
That's where we're down in me and Chris are just floating around down in the grotto. everybody, like over to the side, they're hanging onto a rope and they got a life jacket on. Me and him just dove and we're floating around. And then there's some guy was climbing up the side doing flips off the local guy doing flips off the wall.
Yeah.
Some of them locals are nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, this is our lunchtime every day. Just go down, sit in the water.
damn, their water was at such a comfortable temperature year round, I think. Like,
The first 2 weeks we were there, it was like warm. And then it was, you could see the winds changed, the surf got more choppy, and the water got like 5 degrees cooler.
we went swimming in the rainstorm the one time.
Yeah, that was
A bit chilly.
well. The first rainstorm, like right when it started, was great, but towards the end of it,
It got cold.
yeah, like
Right in here, that picture would have been of the chick on the rail. That's Forbidden Island.
Did we go out for? No, we did not go out.
no, we did not.
That's because it was forbidden.
But it's
That
in
is-
the name, forbidden.
There's
Don't
always
do
gotta
it.
be some doing things before. What's the Saipan stock?
That's sea cucumber. There was sand all over it. He just wrote Saipan on it, handed it to me for the picture.
Oh,
Well, here you can look up. You can see all the rain up there. That's a typhoon hitting.
Nice.
That's how I got out of the water. This is what I saw when I got out of the water. Like, oh shit!
like yep, it's raining. Yeah, that looks about like it.
And then they apologized in the afternoon that the water was so cloudy on the other side of the island. And I'm like, well, there was just a storm. I get it.
Yeah, what do you expect?
I want you to filter that for me. So
I demand clean water.
anyway, so that's that.
Yeah, I mean, all in all,
That's 2 hours and 15.
That's what it says.
all right.
Did not feel like 2 hours and 15.
That's our longest one yet.
Yes, it is.
Are we making this thing like a monthly occurrence?
No, that's expensive and gasoline. Absolutely. I don't care.
So we covered a lot of stuff. Everybody knows everything about Saipan now.
Yeah, all in all, mission trips, a good time. Would definitely recommend it. I mean,
I'd give it a 10 out of 10. I still have not found a better place than Saipan. You know, like I went to Florida recently. There's no comparison.
No,
I don't
like
know
I said,
I don't know how I'm going to top that one off though.
his first one was probably the best.
Wow.
It was. It's I fell in love with it when I was there the first time, and I was so glad I got to go back. I'd love to go back again, do the work, but also just see the island. It's just beautiful.
The island's beautiful, and it's just the nature, the people, everybody's kind of blunt, but really open.
Yeah.
Just,
Seems like they don't really like the fast-paced life that like I'm used to, which is annoying sometimes. Like they're like, whoa,
yeah, slow it down. Yeah.
like we're not about that. Like
Well, kind of like Jesse told us, I'll be there in 20 minutes. 45 minutes later, Jesse rolls up, ready to go. Yeah. Time isn't really like something that's dead on. I'll be there shortly.
not
Yeah.
consumed with all the material things.
They're,
Yeah.
they're definitely on island time.
yeah.
All right, so we did it. We went out and took on the world. Now you guys can go out and take on the world too. Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials.
Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is going to go downhill real quick.